You know, it's really hard to find a good Thanksgiving Spotify playlist.
God, yeah, huh? Because everything is Christmas right now.
Yes.
And I'm not ready for Mariah. You know, there's a lot of there's some. My wife's bringing me around to Christmas music, but not right now.
No,
You come up with a good song about a turkey. And then see if you can do it.
Yeah.
All right, I think audio's working.
Yep, we're good. You know, the thing about Cheers is it survived a star leaving and doing the switcheroo. It could have went down like Cousin Oliver, like the Bradys, but Kirstie Alley created her own rendition of Cheers, so you feel like you got two different versions of Cheers.
But here's the thing, Jeff, though. It actually did it twice.
It did it twice. Oh, you're right. Because of Coach and Woody.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to switch like that midstream, and Cheers did it twice, so props to
and
Cheers.
they did a really great job switching from Coach to Woody.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, going, oh, that's right, we got Woody now. And then I was like, wait, what did happen there? And I went and I looked, I was like, oh, God, like, my heart is broken all over again.
Because that was a little bit of a shoot with Coach, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he really passed, where Shelley Long, I think she was just ready to move on.
Yeah, she was ready to go.
She thought she was a huge star, too big for Cheers, and left.
Well,
hey,
went on to do Troop Beverly Hills and
Brady Bunch movies. Two Brady Bunch movies. You know,
The Money Pit.
I guess
Tom
it worked
Hanks.
out for her. She made the right call.
Yeah. I feel like I read she was also up for Private Benjamin.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I could see that. Yeah.
Goldie Hawn.
Wow, that would have been in a different multiverse.
Yeah, Shelley Long.
Shelley Long's in Private
is
Benjamin.
Private Benjamin.
Oh, and Goldie Hawn is on Cheers.
Yes.
there it is.
Wouldn't that? I feel like that's.
Oh
I'd
man,
like
that
to
would
visit
be
universe.
that'd be an all timer right there. Goldie Hawn on Cheers.
What movie was that just in when they did the switcheroo and they had the Eric Stoltz that actually was in Back to the
That was in one of the Marvel movies, wasn't it?
Was it?
One that just happened?
Was it in Quantumania?
I don't know. It just happened.
Oh my God.
Everything is a multiverse movie, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, everything bleeds together now.
Yeah.
But that's why it was a simpler time going back to Cheers. I miss when sitcoms, especially this time of year, were everywhere, right? That's how you got made. Now it's a bad reality show and these people working a gimmicked version of themselves, which is basically what you were doing back with a sitcom, except it wasn't necessarily a gimmick version of yourself, but you're going to be the wacky neighbor.
Yeah.
Now in a reality show, it's just like you're the wacky neighbor, but they treat it like Ric Flair. Like, I'm this wacky neighbor 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, around the clock. Mm-hmm. But because it just feels like I just finished Jersey Shore Family Vacation.
Is it over? There's not more episodes coming?
No, they have another vacation coming, but that's it for the return of Sammy Sweetheart.
Yeah.
The longevity of those that cast of characters.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was magic. They were the aughts version of Friends. They just stuck together.
Yeah.
And they just made it.
And it's funny how they've become so much more likable in their middle age now. They're just like lovable old grandpas.
They were talking about that. It's like, remember when we used to go clubbing, and now we're in Florida going to invade a flat earther meeting.
Right.
And they were at Margaritaville.
Oh man.
But I don't know, man. I'd take a good sitcom over a reality show anytime.
Yeah.
And they don't know. When was officially the last sitcom?
I was about to ask that same question. Like, where are we in the sitcom realm right now? Because and then
I don't think they make them anymore.
All that stuff's on streaming now, solely on streaming.
Yeah.
Like that new Frasier is on Paramount now.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know,
but but something was lost, right? It doesn't work.
I haven't watched it. I really want to, and I'm sure you take out any of those elements that made the original Frasier so good, and then it's you don't have the original, despite having Frasier Crane like himself. It's the whole cast.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the skin of the tossed salad and scrambled eggs may not taste the same. Olivia, yeah, you're going to see us any second. You're going to see us any second, Olivia.
Sorry, I looped the music accidentally, so we have to go through it twice. I don't have a fast forward button on the music. It's like a cassette. I'm playing it off of a cassette.
Here we go.
You should see Mario's like giant bin of cassettes over it. It's wild. I was like, oh, Top Gun, let's go.
There he is, live back in studio.
There we are.
There we go. So, yeah, because I was watching Three's Company today.
Sure.
And because now it's not just watching it for the sake of watching it. Now you're like, what could they not get away with?
Oh,
and it was
Three's
pretty much
the entire
it's the
premise
whole
of the
show.
show you could not do.
the
You can't get
entire
away with it.
premise
Not
of
even
the
close.
show.
That's that whole
It's
show.
like you could not make it anymore. Everything about it, I was like, wow, they did that.
Jeff, you look like you're falling out of frame there.
Oh yeah, what's going on here? Where am I going?
The opposite way. The opposite way. Hey,
Wait.
wait.
Sorry, I'm a
To
little
me-
rusty.
To me, it's
There we go.
Yeah, it's just been out of
no,
the
no.
studio
Wait,
for
you went back.
months.
Oh wait, I went back.
Yeah.
Wait, is it
There you
there?
Okay, I'm going to full screen you so you can center yourself.
There. There.
Hey, there you
Pull
go.
the microphone
All right.
Right there,
towards
yeah.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I haven't been in the studio in a few months. I forgot where everything was. I blame Chuckles.
Right? He got up in your spot.
Yeah,
and-
you reframed for Charlie. But yeah, we had to come live back in the ATX. JJ's in the house. What's up, JJ?
Yeah.
It's
good
our-
to be back.
You were the perfect selection because this is technically an anniversary show for us.
Oh, there we
This is
go.
an anniversary show. I don't know for how long. What are we on now?
This is 2 years.
2 years.
2 years,
2
that's
years.
right,
2
yeah.
years live.
Yeah, that's right.
But you were hanging us when we were playing the Blockbuster video game
Hell yeah, I
on
was-
Twitch, and we were playing
Playing some Nintendo
yeah,
games.
Ghouls and Goblins.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
When games were impossible.
Yeah.
When sitcoms were real and games were impossible. That's where we're at. But
Nintendo hard.
Man, that was an intense Cheers / Jersey Shore kickoff conversation there. off the dome. That was not planned at all.
no, it was not. No, it was not. We do have some stuff planned. It is the Mario. I think you're making a really heavy pitch to make Terrifier a Thanksgiving Day movie tradition, right? It's nestled between Halloween, the premise, right, and then we pull this in here. Terrifier 3 is technically going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going to be perfect to watch all the Terrifiers on Thanksgiving.
I mean, not if you're going to eat mashed potatoes. It's not. That's not going to be a thing.
I don't think I'm going to be able to look at mashed potatoes ever the same again.
No.
And
But as you know, like we get into to Thanksgiving, then we start watching, the Christmas and holiday movies.
yeah,
Start with Terrifier.
you start with just give it a
Get
fresh
it in there.
I mean, honestly, would you, out of like a small circle of people that you know and watch, maybe like talk movies with on a regular, would you really recommend Terrifier to a civilian?
No, just to like to no.
Yeah.
No, you got to know this person really well.
Yeah.
Like you got to be looking at them across the room, seeing what they're eating, just making a profile, and then you're like, okay, I think you can handle this.
Like you might pull up a clip from Terrifier on your phone and be like, "Oh, watch this part.
Yeah.
This is this." But you send someone home alone to go watch that by themselves with no setup.
No warning.
It's probably not a good
Be
idea.
like, no, it's one of those, fun, campy horror movies. There's just a ton of gore also. So just be careful.
Oh man.
Just throw on the Hallmark Channel afterwards. Watch all those silly Christmas movies where the big time executive goes back to their hometown, falls in love, and it's a Christmas miracle.
I love those.
Those are great. My wife's gotten me into those, and so it'll be good. It'll be a good palate cleanser after Terrifier.
Yes, you can't. Terrifier cannot be the last thing you watch before you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, you definitely need some brain parsley on that.
Yeah.
And Mario, you told me that with Terrifier, you said you had forgot that it has the most gruesome kill that you've ever seen. Oh, I said the word unliving ever in horror movies, right?
Absolutely.
And I saw it, and I'm like, "Yep, that's the one.
That's the one.
Yep, that's awful."
You'll know when you see it.
That is when I saw her upside down.
God.
And then I saw the hacksaw, and I'm like, "Oh no!"
I was like, well, I've never seen that before.
And the thing about Damienleone, like, so he does the makeup too, right? He's a modern day Tom Savini.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think that's like an independent spirit kind of thing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's aspiring to be a special effects artist, but he did the effects he taught himself how to do effects and then made his own movie with his effects. It's like it's just like learning to operate a camera, doing anything you can do to get yourself over in the movie business.
to get done.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to hire an entire effects team to do your stuff, or just do it yourself.
There you go.
And we were just talking about this a little bit off air that, when I'm in New York and I'm just walking around in Manhattan and every Broadway show now is based on a movie. And then you're like, well, everything's an IP now. Like everything's an IP. There's nothing original that's not based on something coming out. The only way that's going to happen is stuff like this. Like you are going to have to act, perform, and make this happen outside of the Hollywood/New York financial system. There's no way. Like I just don't think they're buying scripts off slush piles anymore. I don't think they're making them.
No, they're not. They want things that are sure bet.
Yeah.
That have already known notoriety. Because look at who has the patience to create a Terrifier? How long has Damienleone been working on it? Since 2011.
Yeah, it's been over a
Since
decade.
2011 to get to this point. And now it's not even to the point where it's broken. It's to the point where it's about to break.
Yeah.
It's still cool, underground,
Yeah.
kind of like just like a whatever independent cinema kind of thing. Part 3 is going to be huge. We have a year of build-up coming up.
Right.
Celebrities love it. Pete Davidson loves it, right? All those New York comedians surely they're going to be in it.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be huge, man. It's going to be a huge movie, I think.
I remember when you went and saw the premiere at Fantastic Fest here. And
I didn't see the premiere.
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, you
No.
were just hanging in the lobby when they were talking about it, though, right?
Yeah. That's when I did. At that point, I really didn't even know what Terrifier was.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen the first one. Part 2 was on, and honestly, I saw the runtime on the listings. It's like 2 hours and 22 minutes. It was at midnight, and I was like, I don't know that I want to sit through that, but then I regret it forever, because they were all there, and
you didn't
just
know.
didn't know anything about it.
No. And the time you were right. The time went really
And I
fast.
follow movies closely.
Yeah.
This is how small this was.
No, but you were saying in the bar section right there, they were just buzzing about, Chris Jericho, right? He had his cameo. He was in it. And he was talking to Darcy the Mail Girl, and they're like, this is going to be the next big thing. And it's definitely on pace for that. This is the Scream moment, right? Like, have we had a moment in horror movies since Scream that really made everybody rethink how they're making movies? Like, you've had characters break out.
I think you've had some pretty big horror movies. Like of recent year, last year or two, I think you have, stuff like Barbarian and Get Out, things like that.
Yeah.
But this is just different. This is like, it's not, it's really challenging to watch. You know?
Yeah. It's not an easy watch.
And like I said, you don't just recommend it to anybody.
No, you can't.
It's an endurance contest to get through the movie, and when you get to part 3, people are going to be going in like it's an endurance contest. Are we going to be able to sit through this? Will I pass out? Will you have to call an ambulance for me again?
Yeah. and apparently that's a shoot that's like really happening. And
I remember when after the first Terrifier came out, and then the build up for Terrifier 2, people were like, "You can't show this in theaters. You can't." If it's going to be worse, or if it's going to be the same, you can't show this in theaters. What do you think you're doing? And I was like, what are they talking about? And it was, all the gore and all this and all that. And I'm like, nope. Yeah. Who's talking about movies like that right now?
No.
Nobody's talking about movies like that.
I feel like we're in an era where like horror is definitely big again.
Yes.
And I think, but like you have all these IPs that they're revisiting, They brought back Exorcist, Scream, anything that's out there. This is like one of the. This is one of the truly originally new IPs that's being created. We're watching it grow.
Yeah,
it's like a teenager now, and it's about to graduate high school and go off into the big to the world.
It does feel like it's in its infancy.
Yeah,
this feels like this to me. It has the same vibe of Faces of Death on VHS, where like not everybody could watch it, and you recommended it to certain people, and you'd whisper about it in school. Like, I don't know if this will ever really cross that mass appeal, and I don't know if it wants to.
Yeah, if they did want to get into, to cross over, then you'd really have to dial back a lot. There's just so much you'd have to dial. But like you could still do some things, but there's a lot of the more extreme things you really have to dial back. And then now it's kind of a shell of what it was, and it gets weird. I think it's already like weird, but but just a different it becomes a different vibe, and it's something else where no let it be what it was and what it is. And what's great about Terrifier is if you're just coming in at Terrifier 3, you have so much so much content. There's so much content building up to Terrifier 3.
Right, to get to that point.
So if Terrifier 3 is your bag, or Terrifier just in general is your bag, now's a great time to be getting into Terrifier.
I mean, the poster is so good. Like, I'm just off the poster, I'm so hyped for it.
Oh yeah. Can we get another shot of that?
And the fact, you can hold it up. You can hold it up in the main screen there. It looks great.
Yeah, look at that. And so you got this when you went to a screening, right? And then the re-release screening on November 1st that had the teaser attached, right, for 3?
Yeah. People are already upset about the teaser.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it alluded to something that's a no-no in movies, right? Even though it happened in All Hallows Eve, like the kid was there, so you just have to assume that.
But a huge difference between the end of All Hallows Eve and that trailer, right? Like the trailer literally showed absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Just insinuated, maybe not.
Yep.
And people are already upset.
Yeah.
This is how whatever. Like I've been listening to just like every podcast I can find with damienleone on it for the last few days. Whatever he's already saying that the first 5 minutes of Terrifier 3 are gonna ruin your life.
The first 5 minutes of the first Terrifier ruined my life. What is he talking about?
You'll never recover. I mean, that's like if you make people throw up and have them call an ambulance while they're watching your film, I mean, you have to live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna push the envelope, and then what's gonna happen?
And you had the hacksaw scene in Terrifier 1. Terrifier 1. Is that weird to call it Terrifier 1?
Yeah, no.
But you had the hacksaw scene, which I just feel is untoppable.
No.
I don't know that you could ever top that. I think in Terrifier 2, both the mashed potatoes scene and the the other the death of the friend.
Yep.
They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
But nothing can top that hacksaw scene. I don't know how you would ever top that.
Here's the flip on this too, because he's called Art the Clown, but like you said, he's technically a mime. It got to the point with a lot of horror movies, or at least the 80s slashers, that you were rooting for them, right? And then the campers and the kids, they became a little bit of fodder to get the pop. I don't think anyone's rooting for Art the Clown yet, and now you're truly afraid for what would have considered, the kids would have been fodder before. Now you're like, please don't do anything to them, because this guy is going to do something extremely brutal to them, and you're going to wince. And I haven't winced like this since, you kind of wince like this in the Saw and the Hostels, but that's more like the thought of stepping on attack. You're like, oh, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
This is a person or a clown dude. And then when he does that, and you're like, nothing is coming out, you're like, oh no.
That's such a great style choice.
Yeah.
And then the fact that this is you're totally on point there. It's just like damienleone setting up Art the Clown in a way is like, you're not gonna like him. I don't want you to like him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to turn him babyface, like happens to every slasher movie, and he'll just throw in random parts where he'll just have diarrhea everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he really wants to make him disgusting and unlikable.
Yeah.
And he'll just eat your fingers for no reason.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because apparently he's a cannibal too.
That's just out of the blue, right? That just comes out of nowhere. I love what he's doing with this, because he knows the conventions of a horror slasher, and what you expect. And by being such a fan, he's able to like twist those around, one of my favorite, I think it's one of my favorite scenes of all time ever in a horror film is, or maybe, I guess he does this throughout his movies, but just the fact that he'll just let Art have a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
That blew my mind. The first time he pulled out a gun, I was like, well, you broke, he keeps breaking rules throughout all these movies. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but give me a second to process that.
Just happened.
The guy who's stabbing and whatever just pulled out a gun.
Yeah, and you've got the whole scene of I forgot the name of the actress and the character in Terrifier 1, where she's basically getting the best of Art the Clown, like we expect to see. She's got a board with a nail in it or something, and she's beating them down. Oh my God, she's getting the best of them, and just out of nowhere, boom, he pulls out a 45 and just shoots her.
Even the way he held it, like everything about it, like he really just let you register what just happened.
Yeah, and then he's like, click, click, and he walks out of the scene to go get his bag of tricks and dig around for more bullets, then walk all the way back and then shoot her again.
Yeah. Oh. And also, like, on top of that, like, so he's very grounded, right? He's a grimy mime clown, but also there is a supernatural element to him, right? Because I didn't have any idea how they were going to continue two.
Yeah.
If you saw the end of one until you stick around, but they didn't really, and they still haven't explained it. So he actually has lore going on, like supernatural, spiritual lore, as he's kind of interweaving it towards this very grounded, grimy, gritty slasher. But
here's the thing. Don't all slashers do that? It's like every how is Freddy Krueger still alive? How is Jason still alive?
Yeah.
They all do that eventually. It's to me, it's like the way, again, he understands the conventions and the way he presents them. It's like you go through Terrifier, the whole thing, nothing supernatural at all. You know what I mean? Nothing to give the indication that it's anything more than a random psycho. And then at the end, we just throw that in. Oh, by the way, he's also immortal. Guys.
And, but all the while, still, like, when somebody's, giving him the business, trying to get the best of him, you think, oh, it's this time. This is the time
this is
that they're going to get him. And it's like, no.
Just imagine this scenario.
Have you not been paying attention?
Imagine the scenario in real life. Somebody in real life, not Art the Clown, but just some rando is stalking you, right? And they turn out to be immortal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has all of that. And then, like I said, and then the eerie imagery also built into there. So the grimy grit, the crazy supernatural, and then the eerie imagery. Because, man, when I saw that little girl mime clown that was with him, that's another one that you can't stare at for very long.
Yeah.
So can we speculate a little bit now? Because I mean, we're getting into the movies here.
Yeah.
What is the deal with the little girl? Do we know?
I think he's being braver than most of the other old horror movies that were afraid to explain the origin of, like, how does this monster keep coming back. I think he's going to pay it off. I think she is going to be, she was the first linchpin of going to pay it off of how he's immortal and what he is.
They give you, don't they give you who she is? Like, for like a hot second, though. In
I think they insinuate that it's like another victim of his.
It was one of his victims, yeah.
But then, like, it's funny because in Terrifier 1, there's absolutely no backstory of any kind. It's just random killer stalking these women.
Yeah. And
then, surprise swerve at the end, he's immortal. Great great flick. I loved it. I think he got feedback that it's like there should have been more story. And damienleone being like the filmmaker that he is, I think he took that to heart and he had a lot of backstory.
He did.
Because we've got the main character, what's Allison?
Yep.
Sienna.
Yeah.
Who is a great character. She's set for life as far as cons go.
Oh yeah.
That's forever.
Yes.
And then you've got, I think the little brother character is great. The whole, whatever lore is going on with the dad who mysteriously disappeared. Is Art their dad? We don't know.
Yeah, they do. They allude that the dad had something to do with what's going on with Art because of the nightmares.
Yeah.
And then his book, his drawings, right? And Art was in there. So they are alluding to it.
And his art is he Art the Clown because he's an artist?
Scoozy. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze one more time. Yeah, I think we're going to get a payoff. I think the next one, it's going to get a little bit closer of an origin. I think they can do 3, and then then it's a little bit of a gamble, because then do you go for the next? Do you raise the bar even further and try to pull out a number 4, or at the end of 3, do you pay it off and try to make 4 the prequel that explains a little bit of an origin story?
I mean, Damien Leone, I've heard him say that he has 4 in mind, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, which I think 4 is a good number.
Or
if you want to end them at 4.
Yeah, like 3. You get the 3, and then you can do 4 as the prequel, or just like the payoff, and everybody knows it's the payoff, and there we go. And then you just give him a ton of money to make the next whatever the hell he wants to make.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got a pitch, and we got a pitch for him. We'll do a live pitch here after
So-
we're done talking about Terrifier. Really been noodling it around when I was at the hotel staring at the sign for the Staten Island Ferry. and then him being from there, we have an idea. But it's going to be really tough for him. You think it's really, really tough for him to stop at 4? I think it's going to be tough to stop at 4.
I mean, it depends on money.
Right. Yeah.
Money makes people make decisions, but like, he seems insistent that he has 4 in mind.
He's already, in the very short period of time, he's pretty much already a horror icon. Art and Damien Leone.
Yeah.
Almost broke the internet just saying, I'd like to take a stab at Friday the 13th.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if if you start getting into, if you get Terrifier 5+, you start getting diminishing returns on Art and the backstory, and because at this point, Jason's backstory has been changed several times.
Yeah.
Depending on who's writing, the movie and stuff like that. So what's, do you start getting diminishing returns from the Terrorizer, franchise, Terrifier franchise?
Run the risk,
so
for sure.
So he's like, yeah, I'm good at 4, and then I'll do something else, or I'll take a stab at something else. But like, just let him have his 4, and that's it.
It went, like you said, with Jason, it turned into a wild ride after 4, the final chapter. They pretty much tried to end it, and then they couldn't, and they demanded it to come back, and then we went all over the place. And then after that, even when the films were good, each one of the endings, you never got the closure or like any kind of understanding, right? Because you had basically Carrie versus Jason, she can move things with her mind versus Jason, and they never really paid that off beyond that movie, right? That was 6. Not 4. Was that? No, that was 7.
Which one?
God.
7 was the one with the telekinesis, right? She can.
I
move
believe
things
so.
with
Yeah,
her
7.
mind.
The new blood.
Yeah, the new blood. When her dad jumped out of the water, you never really understood why it happened. Jason Takes Manhattan, you never really got any payoff, because all of a sudden they just filled up the sewer with toxic waste and dissolved his body, and then it was a little boy just laying there. You didn't really get that.
Yeah.
You guess you kind of did, even though they made Jason an entity in 9 where he jumped from body to body, and then the payoff was because Freddy pulled his mask down. You had a little bit of that, but you never really got into that. They tried to introduce a Voorhees sister in there, and they didn't really pay that off. So I think if he is going to go for 4, he needs to just go for it. Make 4 solid movies, and then he has the excuse to see the prequel of Art, and I think they wouldn't hold it against him if they did it. But you can never make him a baby face, because
No.
Saw X, I don't know if you guys saw that yet. That was the Jigsaw becoming a baby face.
Oh, okay.
That was 100%.
Yeah, I felt like they've been trying to do that for a minute. Like, turn him into a baby face, and you're like, that's... How come somebody just can't be evil for the sake of evil?
Yeah. No, he was all in. And the funny thing was, this was somewhat of a prequel because it was right before part 2.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then he's just like, he was only doing his traps to people who deserved it, and he was trying to save he was trying to save the kids. He was like the 80s animated Mr. T. He was trying to save kids. Should have stayed in school.
And then they pulled the Vin Diesel on him. And
He
he's
did.
Like, oh, well, let's retcon this. And, yeah, no.
I just can't. But yeah, you'll never be able to turn Art babyface. I would be shocked. I don't know how to do that.
Well, I mean, the crowd's already turning him babyface. They love him.
They love
him.
Sure.
But even though they're not going to let him be, I don't think Damien Leone would let him take that turn like Freddy Krueger and let him be cool. You know? He doesn't want that, but people can't get enough. I mean, people love the sunflower glasses. Everybody wants those.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I think it'd be neat for after Terrifier, everything that Damien Leone does, like Art appears somewhere in the background. Like you're always looking for Art, and he's always there. And that's kind of like the meta of Art is he's always there, and he's still alive no matter what universe you're looking at. He's always
in
there.
I
think that'd be fun. Just a quick thing, just like a hey, just this is
just seeing him walking around in the back.
And be like, oh God, did I just see that? I think.
Would you like to see him take another stab at an alien invasion horror movie? I kind of would.
Oh,
I feel like he took a swing at it there with All Hallows Eve, but I mean, it's probably that was filler in between Art shorts, right?
Yeah.
I think if he has a genuine interest in that, I think Damien Leone could do something fun with an alien abduction.
So have a little bit of a invasion of the body snatchers. Feel.
No, I'm talking like alien abduction.
Right, that it wasn't. They were in aliens in there, right? The way they took over bodies.
No, but I'm talking about All Hallows Eve.
Oh yeah, the second story.
Yeah,
right, when the alien was going after the girl.
Yeah.
I think he would do a great job with it.
I think he would do great. Like I think maybe in that just for that particular short, he was like, I think I could make an alien costume. Let me take a stab at it, and we'll shoot something with it.
Yeah, and people didn't like that one. What did you think of it?
I mean, it felt kind of out of place. It was weird. I think there's probably something that interested him. He had an idea for it. He made the suit himself, probably, right?
Yeah.
And so let's shoot this. But I don't think it fit totally well within that series of shorts. But I would like to see him try it again in another movie.
JJ, did you know the premise of All Hallows Eve?
I didn't know.
So the kids go trick or treating, and somebody throws a VHS tape in their bag, and it's a VHS tape. When they put it in, something's up, kind of like The Ring,
okay.
a little bit. But it's they're watching Art shorts. And it was the two shorts that he originally made, and then this one alien premise in there. But you can tell something is happening in real life because they're playing this tape.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's when they, ironically, like Mario was saying, you didn't really get the supernatural vibe in one.
Right.
But you got a supernatural vibe in this one with the tape, for sure. Even though it still feels so gritty and grounded.
Right.
In there, like I haven't been that freaked out for kids in a room since When a Stranger Calls. Like, and that's like 70s. Like you're like, oh no, this is not gonna end when you knew it wasn't gonna end well. Yeah. And like you said, Mario, it's perfect the way he just alludes to what happened. And when it comes to dogs and kids, you can't show it, but just the alluding of it is usually enough that
it's enough.
Yeah. That you're like, that'll stop him from getting a baby face turn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's enough. Yeah. To stop the baby face turn, and you're still breaking the rules because everybody gets up. Everybody seems to get up to the point, and then it doesn't happen. The kid gets saved, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you do, even if you just allude to it happening, like, again, there you go. You're breaking rules, and you're breaking boundaries. Within the genre. Great for him.
Yeah, Mario. What would your family do on Thanksgiving if you popped this in?
Oh man, I don't even know. Like I think for that level of goriness, I think my mom would try to buy into it because she's a little bit of a cinephile herself.
Okay.
She's into movies, but eventually she'd have to tap out. She'd probably just sneak out, disappear. Like I said, I took my brother to go watch it, and he did not want to see it. I was like,
Yeah, you
"That's
said he was very leery of seeing it with
He
you,
did
right?
not want to see it at all. He had heard about it, and he didn't. He's like, I don't like horror movies, and he went and he got into it. But I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. Like nobody. I wouldn't bring it up at work or by the water cooler to anyone. Like.
Get a call from HR.
Isn't that crazy to just like something so much that you just don't want to tell anybody about because you're afraid they'll think you're a psycho?
Because you've been going down the rabbit hole with it, right? You said you haven't felt like this in a while about a horror movie.
Yeah. And just like, not even so much just that it's a horror movie. I think it's just the things that Damien Leone's doing to like push the envelope.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's exciting because, again, like I was saying earlier, he's acting outside of the system that would never accept him, and he's doing it just like, fine, I'll do it myself. And you just got to appreciate that spirit, right? Even as filmmakers, you have to appreciate that he's like, all right, I won't take your money, because he did a GoFundMe and he didn't even reach his goal, right?
Yeah, I saw he did a GoFundMe. That's right. Yeah.
And he did not reach the goal.
Yeah.
So just to exist outside, because even though this one has multiple entries, you can't really necessarily consider what we call IP yet,
right?
Because he's really done this bootstraps, did it himself. He did it all himself. I mean, he got help. Like, he did get somebody to finally buy in, but that was, like Mario said, it was a decade in the making.
Yeah.
Before he got somebody to kind of buy in on that. Mm-hmm. But how do you think this is talking about how it's affecting horror movies? To me, so I did the Terrifier marathon kind of right around the Halloween, a little bit after Halloween, finished it off. And then the next horror movie that I saw was Thanksgiving. And it really did affect how I watched that movie. I think I would have thought different of Thanksgiving if I wouldn't have saw Terrifier first, because even though it was very gory still, but it felt mainstream gory, which surprised me because it came from Grindhouse.
Right.
I didn't expect it to be. I was like, well, this is just Scream, Scooby-Doo with a lot more blood. Don't get me wrong, I liked it, but like Mario said, you can safely recommend Thanksgiving to people. You can't safely recommend Terrifier to people. What did you think of it, Mario? A Thanksgiving.
I thought it was, like I said, a pretty straightforward mainstream slasher.
Yeah.
It had the stylistic flourishes that Eli Roth usually does. He's got this whole thing where just really makes showcases human nature. Like people are jerks.
Yeah.
I thought the opening scene was really good. I liked the whole Black Friday riot. That was a good premise.
That was the more extreme Black Friday riot since Krampus and Black Friday.
Yeah, and it's a completely effective, efficient, good slasher. Good. It has everything that needs to be there. But when a post Terrifier 2 world, it's different now.
Yeah. I definitely looked at it different for sure. I mean, I still enjoyed it. I think you should enjoy it. You'll probably watch it, kind of movie that you'd watch every year. You can see more Thanksgivings if they really want. It's low budge, so I'm sure it's already made its money back.
Sure, yeah.
For sure, and it's got Eli Roth in there. So if you're a fan, did it feel like Eli Roth's tamest movie he's ever made?
I did in a lot of ways.
Right?
Well, I mean, except for he's made a few kids films, hasn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
I know he makes ghost shows on the Travel Channel that
He
watch.
did a kids movie with Jack Black.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The house with the clock on the wall or something like that.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah.
I didn't know
wow.
he did that.
And then he did the Death Wish remake with Bruce Willis.
That was the last movie of his that I saw.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had forgotten about that one.
But yeah, I think this is his first horror movie in a long time.
In a while.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think. I thought it was Green Inferno was his last horror movie that he made.
Exactly.
It was that.
And that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. But he's done so much around the horror community that it doesn't feel like it's that long ago, right?
Right.
His history of horror on Shudder is great. Just everything that he recommends about it. But I thought this really did feel like a Scream a version of Scream to me. It was more of a mystery. I thought John Carver, the Pilgrim slasher, and this was going to be a little bit more of a mystery. Like you didn't know where the lore was coming from, but it quickly turned into, after the Black Friday riot, of who done it. Like who is this? It's definitely somebody that was involved in this horrible Thanksgiving Day tragedy. Like, hey, let's not wait till Black Friday. Let's open up stores on Thanksgiving. And then, like Mario said, it showed human nature, people getting greedy, trying to get free waffle makers. And then it turned into a riot, and that kicked off the whole premise. I went back and watched the trailer from Grindhouse, and he paid off a lot of the gags for sure, like the trampoline with the knives. The Turkey Day parade, he paid that off too. But are you going to see it in theaters, or are you going to wait for it to stream?
I'll probably wait for it to stream.
Stream.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually, that's something I'm usually having to watch by myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, that's the safe choice. But I'm really interested to watch it through that lens now, after, like you said, after watching in a post Terrifier 2 world.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, wow, this could, if we didn't have Terrifier, this could have been something else.
Yeah.
But now it's, like you said, it's Scream essentially.
Yeah, it's Scream with a lot more gore though.
Yeah.
Like he definitely has his makeup payoffs.
Right.
Like
right.
on the kills, you get the gore.
Right.
For sure in Thanksgiving, where if it wasn't for that, I feel like anybody could have went and saw this.
Sure.
But I mean, you had a couple, like you saw Intestines, and if you see Intestines, the gore level's it's a little bit elevated. And there was a couple of the I don't know, Mario, did you jump at all during? There was a couple that I jumped on, but it was more like a Final Destination jump that you're shocked that it just happened.
Yeah, it wasn't really a jump scare type of thing. You could tell Eli Roth loves like 70s low budget kind of like horror movies. It had that feel, and it had a very East Coast feel. I feel like that's a genre, an 80s genre. There's a lot of East Coast slashers, which would be an awesome band name. But like, because Friday the 13th was New Jersey, right?
Yes.
And we didn't really go West Coast. Halloween was Haddonfield, Illinois.
Yep.
So that's like Midwest.
Midwest, yep.
But we didn't really get West Coast slashers till Scream.
You're right. We got Gulf Coast slashers with Texas Chainsaw, but no, nothing in California.
Yeah.
I still, again, I think I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it again. I just haven't decided if I wanted to see it in theaters again, or if I wanted to wait to stream. Because what is it going to be, like 45 days? Can you wait?
I mean, they should put it out tomorrow.
I feel like that would be a baller move, right?
I mean, they should. It's Thanksgiving, and they want it. That's going to be your biggest purchase day, is the day before tomorrow.
Yeah.
Folks can buy it on Thanksgiving Day and watch it as a goof, but like,
what a baller move!
Have Black Friday sale for
for that, right? Wow, that's a great idea. We literally should tag him in this. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, surely the marketing wizards at Sony are thinking of this already.
They have to
I don't
be,
think I'm
right?
reinventing the wheel. Yeah, you have to. It's not out of the question. It's a digital. We're in a digital movie world now. They can put it out whenever they want.
They made their money back, right? They already profited.
After Thanksgiving, you've missed your window there.
How many people are people going to go watch Thanksgiving the movie in December?
No,
right?
No,
but they will watch it if they find a way to do that Cloverfield paradox where you're like, go get this right now. If you rent it.
Oh, yeah.
If you just go rent it right now, watch it with your family.
Yeah.
Instead of you're stuffed and you don't want to watch that third football game, watch it right now. They should do it. They should buy ad space during one of the football games. Like after the game, you can buy Thanksgiving for 48 hours.
There you go.
And then if not, then you got to wait till next year. It goes back in the Disney vaults.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not doing that, they're missing someone at the Sony distributions just needs to be fired.
Oh,
'Cause there's just no other options.
is it pretty safe to say that 80% of the people working the Hollywood studio system should be fired?
I don't know. That's a pretty
I
high
think that's a
number.
safe number.
Right?
That's a safe number.
Is that low? It might even be low. I
That's a
don't
safe
know. I
number.
feel like so many mistakes. The bigger the corporation, the bigger the mistakes. I mean, how long did it take to actually put Dave Filoni in charge of Star Wars? It just happened today. And he's still not fully in charge, right? He's
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy's still there. But like literally there's video of George Lucas training this guy
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to protect your $4 billion investment? I mean, I have to think about not buying insurance on my plane ticket that I know I'm going to. I'm like, oh man, should I protect this $150 plane ticket? I think if it was $4 billion, I'd be like, yeah, let's protect that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So now that you brought it up, are you excited about the Filoni news, Jeff? I think you're the biggest Star Wars fan here.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, you can like watching Ahsoka, you can see the stuff Dave did, and you can see the stuff that the studio said you should put this in. Like it's that evident because you know his stuff. So I'm super excited. I'm just curious of how much, to quote John Rambo, can we win this time? Right? Can we win this time? Can you let Dave cook and just let him do what you want?
Right.
So, but I'm excited that at least there's a chance. Because if Dave Filoni fails, Star Wars is dead. Its future is dead. It's just going to have to rely on its remember berries, but there's going to be nothing new.
It's gonna have to go into the Disney vault.
Yeah, it's going to have to go into the
for
vault
X
for a
amount of
little
time,
while.
and then something's gonna come out and be like, oh yeah, hey, here's a new Star Wars movie 15, 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because there's and you're just going to re-release it or something.
Yeah.
Something old.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Disney's on they're the two biggest franchises are on the ropes. Mm-hmm. Like, I know they were just like, oh, the internet is just foul. There's a lot of good fans out there that are also... The ones you need to be worried about are not the ones complaining on the internet. It's the ones that don't even care enough to complain.
Yeah.
And
I
there's a
think
lot of
that
them.
honestly, if you look wider, all franchises are on the ropes at the moment.
Yep.
I think we are overloaded with IP content now, and I think people are getting kind of bored of it. I myself am very bored of it.
Yeah.
Anytime I can see something new at the movie theater that's an original premise, I'm excited to go see that. I went and saw The Killer, the new Netflix movie, at the theater. Great. It was great. If I had seen it on Netflix, I feel like I would have hated it.
Oh wow.
It's just a different experience to get the full immersion of a film. And I don't know. Anyway, but like I think that you look at what's the biggest movies of the year, it's like it's all new stuff.
Yeah.
It was Barbie, which is an IP, but an IP we've never seen a movie of.
Yeah.
So everyone's got to go see what the Barbie movie looks like. You know?
Right.
Oppenheimer was huge, of course. I think the Barbenheimer hype helped elevate that.
That gimmick was, that was great.
You know? But, everything, Indiana Jones bombed.
Oof.
Fast and the Furious, lowest box office ever, right?
Yeah.
All the Marvel movies are tanking.
Yeah.
The Marvels is not going to break $100 million. That's crazy.
Well, I saw the Marvels, and usually I see the.
Oh, you did see it.
I usually see the Thursday preview. I just didn't have the opportunity. I had to wait until Monday, but it was still technically. I mean, it's not opening weekend because it's not Sunday, but it's Monday. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I was in the theater by myself. There was nobody in the theater with me at all. And the way they were hyping this is, I noticed somebody changed the trailer to remind you, like, hey, she was the badass in Endgame. Remember Endgame? Remember cheering in the theater?
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
They started revamping that.
Yeah, they changed the trailer all of a sudden.
Yeah. I was in that theater by myself, and the movie was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine, but Mario, you said this happened, and I felt it. I was like, I'm surprised this wasn't on Disney Plus. Why didn't they just release this directly to Disney Plus? Because even though it was a cosmic movie in space, it felt really small. Well,
Well, two of your characters of the three Marvels in that movie, you know, were on Disney Plus, not necessarily first, you know, for was it Monica Rambeau?
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't on Disney Plus first, but she had a big presence in the Scarlet Witch show.
WandaVision.
Yeah, in WandaVision. And so, like, it's hard to... we've had this conversation a long time ago, many episodes of this podcast ago, about making the transition, you know, from TV to movie and even coming backwards, you know, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, and well, Star Wars is doing their revamp. Marvel's supposedly doing their revamp, and they're going to have sections, and they're not worrying about the continuity between the shows, and it's because apparently a lot of the people didn't watch the TV shows, so they didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
And Brie Larson apparently has heat, and I don't know, she has a lot of heat, and that was not enough to get even the Marvel fans. People weren't bothering with two unknowns and one character that heat. They're like, we'll wait. And honestly, you could wait, and you can watch this on Disney Plus.
Right.
And if your bar is really low, you're not going to be disappointed if you stayed at home and watched it in your undies. And the only thing that really happened important was the first end credit scene. That feels like that's what was setting up for something bigger. Mm-hmm. But it felt like they just kind of shoehorned it into this movie rather than it was part of that.
Yeah. And you know, that's tough. Like, how do you know, because nobody knows outside of unless you watched the TV show, nobody knows who Kamala Khan was.
No.
And that was a delightful TV show. Like, that was a fun show to watch.
Yeah, it was fun.
But if you don't know who that is, why do you care?
I feel bad for that actress. I hope she's not getting heat.
I hope not. Yeah,
she's a huge fan.
She's a big, Marvel nerd.
And she did.
She's awesome.
Yeah, and she did.
She's great.
She did right by the character.
Yeah, 100%.
She did everything she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
None of this falls on her or their performances.
Or the director, who I feel they're giving a lot of heat to.
Yeah, no, it's not the director.
It's not the director. Yeah. It's not. It's just we are on movie 33 of this series. In general, I think general folks are tired of IPs, and I think Marvel is at a point where they've done everything they can possibly do. I think their expansion to TV was a bad idea.
Yeah, that didn't work.
They devalued the movies, so the movies are not a huge event anymore. Mm-hmm. And people now, they established the rhythm of like waiting for end credits, so much so that now you expect any movie to have an end credit scene.
Every time.
Yeah.
Does blank have an end credit
I have to
scene?
look.
I look every time.
Yeah.
But now it's like that's pretty much what every movie is. I'm going to go see this just for the end credit scene, so I can set up whatever's coming next. And I think they're just at a place where not to say they've run out of ideas. Obviously, there's endless Marvel ideas, but the particular series of movies that they've done has run its course, and they need to reinvent. They need to not start over. They need to swerve. You know?
I mean, you can move on to the X-Men. Now they have that franchise. You can move on. Like, we don't have to hold on to, all the Avengers anymore. It's over. It's done. Like, we don't have to hold on to them anymore.
It's over. Get a new show.
We could have called it quits at the end of Endgame, and all right, cool, and then just let it build. Oh, what's next? And then boom, here's the X-Men, or here's the Fantastic Four, or here's this, or here's that, and then you move on. Like, we're just holding on, and we're beating a dead horse.
Fantastic Four is the make it or break it, and honestly,
100%.
Because I feel X-Men, they're gonna wait, and they're just gonna use the old X-Men for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's only one Marvel movie coming out next year in 2024, and it's Deadpool, and obviously the X-Men are going to be part of that.
Right. Which is the first MCU movie that's not based on an MCU storyline.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge pivotal turning point for what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
What's up, Anthony?
I think JJ, you described what wrestlers used to do back in the day when there wasn't national TV, when there wasn't cable. Mm-hmm. When you burned out your stay in a territory, you would leave town.
Yeah.
You would leave town, and you might not come back for 6 months. You might not come back for 8 months. Eventually, you come do another circuit, but then you'd go to another part of the country and then just go work it there.
Yeah.
But the idea, Jericho was doing it when there was no territories to go to, right?
Right,
He would
yeah.
leave the wrestling business and go join the Groundlings in LA or go work on
Right,
a
yeah,
movie
yeah.
or go tour on
He goes tours with his band.
go
with
tours
Fozzy.
with his band, and
Yeah.
he'd take a break and he came back and he benefited from every time he benefited from it.
Yeah. And now we've been given, I don't know how many Marvel movies and how many shows, and every show is like 12 hours of stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah, I saw a stat and it was pretty staggering of how many hours of content were in Phase 4 compared to Phase 3. It was staggering because of
Yeah.
the TV shows. They need to go back to the specials and just cut those
Yeah.
hours in half.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
or in a tenth. You know, just give us 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour, a 1 hour strong Miss Marvel or 1 hour She-Hulk would have way benefited more than 10 hours of people getting angry about these characters.
Yeah.
Right.
And I bet it's likely they need some new creative juice, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige's definitely been the man there for a long time. And, you know, no shame in eventually bowing out. You don't have to make Marvel movies forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to be the end-all, be-all voice forever. You made 33 good ones. I mean, it's hard. You don't want to leave on a downer. But, I mean, Jon Favreau is right there,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Is it time to just hand the keys over for a little bit? you
Tag
know?
out.
Just I mean,
Or they can trade. Feige can go do Star
There
Wars,
you go.
and Jon
just
Favreau do.
just get the creative juices flowing, doing
Yeah.
something else.
Somebody
Hot
that's
tag.
that's
Yeah,
got the
there you go.
Hot tag.
yeah.
Well, you're talking about the domestic. We'll just do domestic box office stats. What number would you guess Marvel's top grossing movie of 2023 was?
2023.
What number on the?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Mm,
What
that's
number?
right, yeah,
What number
Guardians.
is that?
What do you mean? What number?
What number on the list? Where is it on the list of the top movies of 2023?
Oh, probably like 4.
4, right on the money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's right on 4. What number do you think is the first movie that's not based on an IP or toy or like, and not including Barbie, book, something completely original? Where is that in the domestic box office?
An original, the
Or-
highest
or the
grossing original story.
Yes. What number do you think it would be?
Oh, 8.
Close. Lower.
Lower
Lower.
or mean higher?
Oh, higher number.
10.
10.
Okay.
What is it?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of
Oh,
Freedom.
God.
Sound of Freedom.
Wow.
Because you had Barbie, Super Mario, Spider-Man, Across the Guardians, Oppenheimer. Well, I guess Oppenheimer, although
Okay,
it's
sure.
based on a historical figure.
Yeah, but
So-
it's an original.
Yeah, so we'll give
Sandra
that.
film.
So we'll say 5, because then you got Mermaid, Avatar, Ant-Man, John Wick, Sound of Freedom, Taylor Swift, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, Transformers, Creed, then Elemental. So in the top 20, you have basically 3
Sure.
movies. Then Fast X, Five Nights at Freddy's, Puss in Boots, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely zero original. No, we got Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom, and that's it.
Yeah, and Elemental, I guess, because that's an orial.
Okay, sure,
It's,
yeah.
But I feel like Pixar is a
Pixar
series.
is an IP, right?
It's an IP. A Pixar
Yeah.
movie,
IP.
you kind of have an expectation of what it is.
Megan's mine, and one of my favorites original films of last year.
Yeah.
That was number 23.
You got to think about this, and someone brought this up on another podcast, and it's like if you look at it, like in 1988, the top movie of the year, highest grossing movie, it also won the Oscar for Best Picture, was Rain Man.
Yeah.
Rain Man was the biggest movie of the year, won Best Picture, and this is an R-rated movie about a jerk who abducts his autistic brother and takes him to Vegas to cheat on cards. Like
That's old Hollywood, man.
That's a movie
That's
that
old
like
Hollywood.
you pitch that today, that's going to be a Netflix movie you've never heard of that just
Right.
scrolls through your feed.
Yeah.
Wow,
And it's got
you're
like,
right.
Gerard Butler or somebody in it.
Man,
That's
you're
just something that
absolutely
doesn't
right.
happen anymore. Like, these movies just don't exist. And like, this is another thing is like, we were talking about this, Jeff. I think that when a movie just it's fine that you make a movie and it goes on Netflix. There's no shame on that. But when it doesn't have trailers and there's like there's no one's trying to get you to notice it, you know, I feel like it doesn't mean as much to the viewer, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't even try to get me to see it. I'm just going to like stumble on this and just, well, maybe I'll just watch this. That just has no value, you know? Whereas seeing a trailer 3 months before a movie comes out and you're like, oh, I'm going to see that eventually when it comes out, you know? And it gets closer and you see the TV ads. It's like, oh, that's this Friday. I'm going to get a ticket, you know?
Yeah.
You can't, it increases the value of your film.
I agree 100%. 100%. There's nobody's got any balls in Hollywood. They don't have the ball. Like Caddyshack and Blues Brothers. Like you read all the story. I read it. Blues Brothers today. Is like there was more drugs on set than there were script notes.
I would like if I could do like a quantum leap. I would like to quantum leap into Blues Brothers production and work that show.
I mean, literally making it up as they go along, and it's if you watch that movie, man, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah,
and they had no story.
Right,
they had nothing really. They just probably had some stuff jotted down. We should try this. Yeah, try it. Let's see if it works.
What are we doing today? Well, we're trying to get from this yesterday's shoot to this point here.
Well,
we'll figure it out when we get there.
But it was like it was actually somewhere in between that and the fact that Dan Aykroyd wrote like a 500-page script. Like the initial script was like super long. It had the Blues Brothers as kids.
Oh my gosh!
Every time they went to like get one of the band members, there was a whole other adventure, you know. As opposed to like, you know, just these quick scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere between that and just not even having an idea what they were going to shoot or cut out or how they were going to do things. Like they caused riots. They actually destroyed the mall. And the mall owners showed up the next day and were like, what did you do to our mall? It's like, oh, we're going to fix it. Don't worry. It's like, yeah, but I didn't know you were going to actually destroy the mall.
Oh,
right,
man.
We showed you the script. It says we're going to destroy the mall.
That was before CGI.
Yeah, they were literally destroying the mall.
Yeah.
That was the budget they were building on. Airplane was another one. I told you about that book. I just finished the book. Surely You Can't Be Serious. The story
I've seen that one on Audible.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's so fast and it's so good. Because all three of them are still around and they're reading it to you and it's phenomenal. It's another one. Like, how did that get done? You know,
right.
They based it on that movie 0 Hour, and they said the first draft was literally they were taking chunks of the scenes from 0 Hour and just literally putting it in their script, copy and paste into their script.
And then just writing the jokes around it.
Yeah, and just writing the jokes around it, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That stuff just doesn't happen. I mean, and if it does happen, it turns into like that movie you were talking about, The Treasure of Foggy Creek, right?
Oh,
man. They wouldn't just make a movie and put it in the theaters now. No one's going to take that risk.
No.
You make it for streaming. All right, fine. Here's some money, kids. Go make your little silly movie, and we'll put it on Peacock. Right. You know, think about like something like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is like a masterpiece, huge cult classic.
That's straight to streaming.
Yeah, they would never do. They would never do that.
Straight to streaming.
They would never just give some rando a bunch of money with an unknown director. I mean, it was Tim Burton, unknown at the time, but still, and they just go make whatever they want. And then we'll put it in the theater after you're done.
Not anymore, man.
Yeah.
JJ, we were talking about this before that the Please Don't Destroy trio on SNL, you have to kind of grow into them. They're digital shorts, but the more you start watching them and the randomness, you realize you appreciate what they're doing once it actually starts. And I had no idea that this film even existed, The Treasure of Foggy Mountain. And it was, I told you, it was Get a Life, little Chris Elliott mixed with Super Troopers. Like, this is a stoner movie for 2023.
Yeah, when you told me, I was like, oh yeah, it's the Please Don't Destroy, and I asked you which one. I meant like, oh, like from this new season of SNL, like which
short
bit, like which short are you talking about? But yeah, like you said, we were talking like I didn't like those guys when they first got introduced to SNL. I was like, this is
because they were like brought in to fill in for the Lonely Island guys, right?
Yes.
Basically
Yeah.
to replace them.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it. I didn't get it, and that's me being an old man, and that's fine, But like more and more, they're really hitting, and they're doing good stuff, and so I've been enjoying their stuff from more recent SNL stuff.
Yeah, they're in the opening credits now. Digital
They
short
made
from-
it. That digital short they did a couple of weeks ago with Bad Bunny dressed up as Shrek. I mean, that was pretty good.
That was a good one.
Yes, I was curious on how they were going to pull together 90 minutes doing
Right,
that,
yeah.
but they did. They pulled it off. It was a cohesive story.
That's funny.
I just like that they have this gimmick where it's really them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a trio, like a 6-man tag team wrestlers, and
Yeah.
their name is Please Don't Destroy.
Yeah.
And they just literally inserted themselves into this movie where they kind of live at home. One of them is getting converted to, wants to get adult baptism, so they're making fun of him for that. One wants to open up a hair salon for little boys, so little boys have places to hang out. It's so freaking random, dude. And you're starting to watch it, and as it goes along, you're like, what is happening here?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's the new stoner movie for sure.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
so-
good for them.
Yeah.
I hope that this you like Mario said, oh, here's some money, kid. Get put on Peacock, and I hope that leads the next step.
Yes.
For them.
Well, when you do your Cheers binge and you got Peacock back in your life,
Yeah.
just squeeze in 90
get it in?
minutes.
Okay, right on.
Squeeze in 90 minutes.
90
for
minutes?
this.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. I'll
Conan
do that.
O'Brien plays the tall redheaded one's angry dad. He's like the manager of like a Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's, and he
in.
wants to take it over.
I'm in. For sure.
Cool. You guys want to take
That's
a
awesome.
Solid.
quick break?
Yeah.
All right, BRB. BRB.
Here's the vegetables. That's it. That is it. Here's.
Turkey, trimmings, televisions. Everything you need for Thanksgiving. Meyer. Higher standards, lower prices.
I spent most of my life turkey farming up here in Norfolk. I'm Bernard Matthews, and this little booty is the Matthews 1 1/4 pound turkey roast. Looks like a roast, cooks like one in just 75 minutes. It's a family-sized roast made from prime Norfolk turkey with a little pork fat and salt. And it's beautifully tender. Beautiful, really beautiful. Go on, give the family a treat. Give them a slice of Norfolk. The Matthews turkey roast.
Little potatoes, a little gravy.
The peas are the best. They're so crispy.
The turkey is always very moist.
I'm talking only about Swanson. The Swanson turkey dinner.
It's really flaky and tender the way turkey's supposed to be.
Oh, delish.
Reminds me of Thanksgiving.
The quality is there. I love that Swanson combination.
20,000%.
I always come back to Swanson.
It's safer than having me cook.
When you're not home cooking turkey dinner, Swanson is.
Gobble, gobble.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm Bernard Matthews. All right, then. You tell them.
Well, I make them, and I love them.
All right, boy.
Moist.
Tasty.
Delicious. Meat, not mince. The whole family loves them.
My husband gets his share.
What are they? My new crispy crumb turkey steaks. Slices of juicy, tender turkey breast, trimmed with a little pork fat, and covered with light, crispy breadcrumbs. They're beautiful. New crispy crumb turkey steaks. At around 99 pence for 4, the price is beautiful too.
Remember, Harry, it's Marion's first holiday turkey, not a word if it's dry.
It's her first turkey.
It won't be juicy.
What they don't know is Marion's first turkey is America's first turkey, Butterball. It's always juicy because it's specially deep basted, so every slice is moist and tender.
Juicy turkey, Marion.
I knew it would be.
After all, it's Butterball, also available fresh.
We're Beatrice.
Right. We're back.
Back.
A little rusty. Figuring out where the switches are again. All right, you guys, you guys thirsty? You ready for the return of an old friend?
Uh-oh.
A very dear, close, personal, long-time favorite segment known as Weird Beer.
I love that title card.
Yes. This was definitely one of our OG segments. Speaking of anniversary show, we're popping these left and right in those early shows.
We had nothing else to talk about,
especially on Mondays, man.
Right.
So, this one is called. It's a fall flavor. It's the Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel Ale. Got our close-up camera. The return of the close-up camera, right there. Good enough there.
Looks good. I think we've got the soft filter here going for the nostalgic look.
Yeah, it looks good. Well, that's right. It had the VHS feel before. But yeah, let me pull it up so I can actually possibly just read it off the interwebs.
Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel. So it's like, is it a pumpkin flavored, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
I think this is a pumpkin stout. We're in the pumpkin season, pumpkin beverage season.
Are we? When does pumpkin beverage season start? And then when does like candy cane season begin?
So the pumpkin one starts as soon as you can no longer wear white, which is after Labor Day.
Okay.
After Labor Day is around, I saw a great meme from a classic movie that would get you canceled instantly. Blazing Saddles.
Oh, there you
when
go.
Gene Wilder's, look what I got over here, and he pulls him out, and he's like, "Hey, where's the white women?" And they put it as just like Gene Wilder, and it said Starbucks, and he pulled out pumpkin spice. They put it. So anytime once Labor Day comes around, you can have pumpkin spice.
That's pumpkin.
Really,
Start
all the way
pumpkin
till
season.
November. Because
Sure, yeah.
October you register as pumpkin,
Sure,
but
yeah.
you can ride that all the way into November.
I would say at least until Thanksgiving, because one of the big pies on Thanksgiving is pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you have to.
If you can somehow get a pumpkin ale into a pumpkin pie for like an adult pumpkin pie, I think this could work really well.
Oh,
So yeah,
man.
I think you can ride it all the way.
Yeah, that
and
sounds
then
good.
Black Friday pretty much starts candy cane season.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel Ales from Altex Lexington Brewing and Distillery. It's ranked in 84. I don't think this is right. Oh, no, okay. Is it possible this is 14%? Did you get this from Primo? Or did somehow a 1 get carried?
I think it's 10% according to the bottle right there.
Yeah. Oh, it says 10. I was looking on the website. Yeah, I can't read that, but I will pretend I
Put
can.
it in front of the camera here. Yeah, right there. 10%.
10%.
See?
Okay.
Oh, you can see that there. Oh, wow. So this thing's packing some heat.
So we've got just one to share here.
All right, let's see.
That's a smart move.
Oh, I'll pop it on camera.
Oh, one of those.
See if we get this here. Can I? No, that's too extreme.
Just hold it up in the.
There you go.
Just hold it up there, like
Wait, just hold it up here.
Yeah.
This always is terrifying.
That's the wrong. You see the side.
I am on the wrong side. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
All right, ready?
Do it.
Okay. Let's check the pour.
For our ASMR listeners.
Yes. Oh, you want the you want
One or the
close-up?
other.
Let's do the close
Yeah,
up.
do the close up there. There you go.
Oh, it looks pretty. I thought it would be a lot thicker.
It's
Gotta
got
get-
the pumpkin.
It's got that good pumpkin color to
pumpkin
it.
hue for sure. Remind you of the doctor when you give that sample. A little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, I did a Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear pour here.
Wait, should we get another one and even them all out?
Yeah, I'll even it out here.
There we go. That's
There we go. And a little bit of Papa Bear. All right, let me bring him over. That'll work. We got a head on it.
Get Jeff into intern mode there.
What happened to the intro? Man, we haven't done it in so long. I don't have any of the sound cues up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Jeff, I want you to slam this like it's a spoonful of seasoning.
I know. I want to give it a sip first, and then I'm slamming it because I'm not going to nurse it. But let's give it a...
Oh, it smells like pumpkin. Like I would like my car to smell like this.
There you go.
All right, give it a little... Here. Oh, cheers. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Dos Incredibles.
Oh, yeah. Pumpkin and hops.
Yeah.
A lot of hops.
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm tasting the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
The pumpkins actually neutralize the hops a little bit. Like the hops start, but they don't... You know how a hop flavor will usually hang out for a little bit?
Yeah.
It's kind of neutralized a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
All right, let's just go into college mode.
Yeah, I'll do.
Good.
What's up, AJR?
AJR, you survived your Terrifier 2 screening. Congratulations.
Jeff, can I do this? Can I do this gimmick here that I thought of earlier? I didn't really know how to bring it up. But we got Thanksgiving coming up.
We do, yep.
And I thought this would be hilarious if you would eat some a turkey leg on camera.
Do we have a turkey leg?
All right, just keep your eyes on the screen here. Here we go. Coming in. I think this is the wrong size. Hold on, let's get this.
There you go.
I think this will make a good. That'll make a good short. Doom, not sure. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, that can't be a meme, right? Just like even the OS is like, no more.
What are you doing?
It's too phallic-y, and it's in his face. Oh man, so we teased this a little bit earlier, but did want to talk about this. How Mario talking about you're going down the rabbit hole of damienleone, and then just to have that Staten Island accent as he's doing all his podcasts.
As I was listening to them, I started noticing him. He sounded like you a little. He'd do certain things that just as like, oh wow, I didn't realize that's like a Staten Island thing. I would like, I talked about pinging him for this podcast to see if he'd call in, because I would like to. I bet that he knows about the March of the Wooden Soldiers. Yeah. I bet he would be able to confirm that they played that every Christmas.
100%, and I think he would be able to make a fantastic March of the Wooden Soldiers horror movie, because the boogeymen in that, the heels and Barnabas, that could be terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he can totally make them terrifying.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Did you ever find the trailer for it?
I think we pulled it. We must have pulled it up last year.
You found the artwork for it. You found the box art.
Oh yeah, I
for
did
it.
find the box art.
Yeah,
yeah.
you had the Laurel and Hardy one, which is different because the Babes in Toyland.
Oh, that's a different one.
It's different from the Babes in Toyland that some people may know with Keanu Reeves. This is the one from the 30s. Yeah. So I would love to see that on screens, but I would love for him to make that into a horror movie.
There you go.
So, but you said you had thoughts because you were just being over on the East Coast there. You had thoughts on a pitch for damienleone. I think this is a good venue since he's clearly watching.
Yeah, and we can tag him in it, and I think he'd watch it. So we went to what's the name of the guy I told you about? He had the first annual Pizza Fest. He's the pizza blogger guy.
The Portnoy.
Oh, Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. So I went to Coney Island. I went to his pizza festival, and it poured rain, but it was fantastic. It was so aggressive. It was the most aggressive fest I've ever went to, because when it was raining, people were running for pizza, and you just got a slice of a slice. So it was like a slice and a half, and they were just corralling people, and to the point where I thought it was going to be like a taste. You taste it. Oh, that's pretty good. But in New York, everything is like Black Friday. You have to rush for it. So as soon as one person started running, everybody started running. And then you were chowing the pizza as you were going into the next line. But it was really good. A lot of good pizza. But we stayed in Manhattan. We didn't stay in Coney Island. So we stayed at a hotel that was actually in the shadow of the Staten Island Ferry. You guys know the very iconic look of the Staten Island Ferry.
Is that the one Pete Davidson and Colin Jost bought together?
Exactly. Yes, that is the one. That's amazing that they did that, right? But it's made in another. It was in Spider-Man, right? It got cut in half. Yeah. You saw it on Sex and the City a lot. The Staten Island working man, and I was just like,
what is the lore? The lore, not the lure. The lore of the Staten Island Ferry.
It's just the look of it. It's a very distinct look. It's not a white boat. It's orange and red.
And it takes you from where to where?
It takes you from Staten Island to Manhattan Island, basically. So when you're getting there, it's just if you don't want to take a bridge over there, it's just a ferry ride over there to the boroughs. The boroughs, right? You got Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, and Staten Island. And I'm missing one. Queens. You got Queens in there. So you're just hopping from borough to borough on a boat. But iconic, you just usually do it on the weekends or day tripping or whatever. Yeah. But I was staring at that boat, and I'm like, damienleone should make a horror movie based on the Staten Island Ferry. They already have a little bit of a lore. If you guys heard of Cropsey, Cropsey is kind of like the Staten Island version of the New Jersey Devil.
I've heard of Cropsey. Yeah, there's a documentary about it, but I never.
There
saw
is,
it.
yeah. It's kind of based on this child unaliver from back in the day. But I don't know. I think the pitch, the better pitch is to make the boat the horror icon, maybe you can have something in the boat. So my pitch was something from Staten Island gets on the boat. And you don't know what it is. You can do a POV. Okay. And something is hiding at the bottom of the Staten Island ferry. And it's taking people out as it's making its way to Manhattan. But its whole idea is it wants to get to Manhattan and cause havoc. So the boat ride is a little bit like Friday the 13th. Jason Takes Manhattan, the Staten Island ferry version of that. So you don't know what it is, right? So you just think of Jason Takes Manhattan meets a little bit of Terror Train, right? But it's all happening on the boat ride over. And the whole idea is that boat can't make it to Manhattan. If it makes it to Manhattan, it's over. But what could be at the bottom of that boat?
I mean, that's solid. I first thing that comes to mind is whatever all those creatures were in the Ninth Circle.
Oh, yeah.
The first short in All Hallows Eve.
Yes.
Smiley face guy and long nose guy.
Yes.
And you've got Satan. Satan was there too.
Yeah, they were hanging out in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're trying to expand. Because
Yeah.
I was thinking you could do it as Cropsey. Maybe it is Cropsey going over there. But now it's like, what is in the bottom of the boat and how is it getting taken out? And I think you can use a lot of reaction shots to actually express what this could be. But the ferry is the pitch. Just film right? There's a lot of good movies that have been filmed on real boats. Actually, no, just Jaws. But still.
There's a couple of those movies.
Splash, I think those were real boats. I think those were real boats.
But Staten Island has a little bit of the, like Pete Davidson pitches it, right? It has the working man vibe there. And you're just like, the whole wink wink is just like, keep your Staten Island garbage off of Manhattan. Keep it out of New York.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's its own thing.
You can get like the people on the boat, start turning on each other.
Yeah.
As just another element to.
How long is that ferry ride?
That's a good question. I haven't ridden it since I was a kid. Let's see. Let's read the lore here.
I can't imagine
because I feel like that's an important factor
long.
in the determinant of the plot of the movie.
What you could do is at some point the ferry gets stopped in the middle of the ride, so you can buy some time. This could be a 90-minute movie. Yeah.
Is the Staten Island ferry still free? It is free.
Wow.
How much
is a service to the people?
Yeah. Can you just ride the ferry
with your car too? Right.
Yes, you can get your car in there.
Wow.
More than a means of transportation, the Staten Island ferry is an attraction unto itself. What would you say? Duration? Somebody Googled Staten Island ferry Titanic 2.
Siri?
It's 25 minutes.
Ooh, that's a lot of buying time.
It's a quick one. Yeah.
Maybe it's a short.
Yes. All schedules are subject to change without notice. Reduced visibility or severe weather schedule may be adjusted, but it's approximately 25 minutes.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be, you don't have to start the movie on the ferry. Like,
no, yeah,
the thing's got to get on there, and you got to
ferry.
still get all the things happening. So you're buying yourself another at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got to work your way to the ferry.
Yeah.
You got to have your protagonist's backstory of why they're getting on the ferry, what's getting them there.
They stop the ferry in the middle of but then they're like, no, we got to turn it around because they start figuring it out. And then, so I mean, you can get 90 minutes out of that.
You can do a lot. And
the original Terrifier is like 84 minutes or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's a quickie. Or what if all of a sudden, reduced visibility and then Manhattan's gone and the ferry, you can't even see it.
There you go.
Or then all of a sudden you're heading back to Staten Island somehow, like it somehow got turned around. Yeah. What about a Bermuda Triangle between Staten Island and Manhattan Island?
That's establishing new lore for the people of New York.
I just feel like it's made it to a lot of movies, but it's never been the center point of the movie, where the ferry is the entity.
There you go.
I think the ferry needs to be the entity. It's
Sure, yeah.
It's a Mario. Do you have a picture of it that you can pull up there?
The Staten Island Ferry?
Yeah.
I can pull it up.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that thing. It looks like a 70s school bus. You can see, you go by the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty comes to life.
Yeah. Or
in the fifth movie, Statue of Liberty comes to life, and they duke it out.
Exactly.
That's when we've jumped the shark.
They fight it like kaijus, right? All of a sudden.
That's when we've jumped the shark. But we've made it that far.
I mean, look at this thing. This thing does not. I mean, a very good horror movie that doesn't get. There it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a school bus.
Yes, it's a school bus.
Department of Transportation. And you said Pete Davidson bought this item?
He bought a ferry.
Yeah, he bought one of them.
Yeah.
Right? There's multiple.
He bought a ferry.
Yeah,
him and Colin Jost.
Yeah. I feel like they would be able to pitch this too, because they would be all over it. Like the horror movie based on. He probably knows a lot more about Staten Island lore than I do. Which Staten Island and Long Island sometimes do get kind of thrown in similar buckets.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, if you're coming from outside and you don't know the different boroughs and how how distinct they are from each other and how they work, yeah. You're like, yeah, island, same thing, sure.
Right, because I still don't understand what makes them boroughs versus just like, it would be like, yeah, the boroughs of Austin. You got Round Rock, you got Pflugerville.
Right.
Is that just cities? Yeah. So there's a video of Colin Jost taking a spin on the ferry boat he just bought with Pete Davidson, right? I don't know. Would you guys go see a horror movie based on the Staten Island Ferry after seeing the boat?
Yeah, I'd go for sure.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of a ghost ship vibe to it, right?
Oh, and what it needs a callback to that Spider-Man movie where it opens up and it's like a mouth.
Yeah, and it's just
people just fall in and it just closes back.
Falling in.
Yeah.
Here's my pitch for the Staten Island Ferry movie. From what I've learned so far about the boat, I think you have some kind of like outbreak movie, but not like a viral outbreak. We've had enough of that already. But like one of those old like Italian horror movies where people are all just turning into demons.
Oh,
it's like somebody gets scratched by a demon and they turn into a demon, and then you just have a whole demon outbreak.
Yes.
And then you've got a whole Staten Island Ferry full of demons that's docking in Manhattan Island.
Right.
That's like the end of the film.
Yeah. They're making it right. Oh, yeah. And you got 20. That adds a little bit of. That adds more some time to it, where if you do it like 24, if you had like an imaginary timer in the corner.
Oh,
as
there
it's
you go.
working their way there. And as soon as like the millions of millions that are going to be affected if this infected boat doesn't make it over.
Yeah.
And then you got people that are trying to stop it, trying to turn it around.
All over the course of 25 minutes, right?
Yeah. It's just a 25-minute ride.
Yeah. That's in.
You get the Coast Guard involved there. Like the whole problem of, should we sink it? Do we need to sink one of the Staten Island ferries? Like, what would the world think if the Coast Guard all of a sudden sunk the Staten Island Ferry and no one knows why?
You have room for jokes in there, right? Because they'll be like, "Oh, they're all turning into demons." Yeah, they're from Staten Island. I don't know if I'm not sure of the context of that joke, if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. That type of humor.
Yeah,
you can get a New York writer to fill that part in.
Yeah, again,
it can only make Manhattan better.
Yeah, you do stuff like that. You have like a hot dog vendor. It's like, it's New York. Just at some point.
Someone's going to get thrown in the water there and you're going to get a dirty water dog joke. With relish. Who's the most famous Rhode Islanders, Staten Islanders we know, right? We got, besides Damienleone, you got Colin Jost. Pete Davidson's probably the most famous now, right?
Yeah.
At this point, sure. Yeah.
You got Vinny and Angelina. From they're Staten Islanders, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like Pete Davidson, who did a really good job in Bodies, I feel like he would kind of get behind this.
Oh, if he's not in Terrifier 3, though, I'd be willing to bet we're gonna see a Pete Davidson cameo in Terrifier.
We
It's
have
gotta
to,
be.
right? Do they probably went to high school together, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
And I heard them. They're like apparently they're both from Staten Island, so they've connected. They're friends. Terrifier. Art the Clown was on Pete Davidson's show. The show he's got a show on Netflix, not Netflix. Peacock.
Oh, Bupkis.
Yeah.
Right, Bupkis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and Art the Clown actually was in an episode. So
is
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Is Terrifier 3 going to be this this thing where there's going to be lore of all these comedians loved the Terrifier franchise so much that they all put up the money for Terrifier 3, like was it Pink Floyd did for the Monty Python and was it the Holy Grail that they put up the money for?
Oh, did they really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that
like
story.
Pink Floyd loved they put up money for something for Monty Python. Because they loved them
that's
so
true,
much, yeah. And so I wonder if that's going to be a
well, I
similar
don't know.
thing.
I feel like most comedians are broke, but like I don't think I don't think they have a whole lot of disposable income. But I feel like they could add their presence. That adds something,
Right.
Get killed on screen, and definitely just like spread the word.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to add a lot. But I just think it's gonna be special. Or there's a lot of pressure. I feel like on Damien Leone to make this one special, because. I mean, just pressure from me, especially because I'm just super excited about it. I feel like it's the only movie coming out in 2024 that I care about.
And if it's going to be the Christmas special, it's even further. Yeah, it's even worse.
Oh, sorry, I still went down that rabbit hole.
What rabbit hole are you in over there?
Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Jethro Tull
Oh, there you
contributed to financing to Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes, that's wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I also did find a picture from Bupkis with Pete Davidson, Art the Clown, and Damien Leone arm in arm. Bupkis is now streaming on Peacock. See how Art the Clown worked his way into Pete Davidson's life. Honored to be part of this hilarious wild ride of a show. Check it out. Now I got to go watch that episode.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Did you see it?
I have not seen it.
Yeah,
I
so-
feel like I have to watch the whole show to get to, I'd feel weird just jumping into that episode, but
Is there a picture? Because Joe Pesci's in that show, right?
I think Joe Pesci is one of the main characters, yeah.
Also,
I've liked most of Pete Davidson's work. I liked the King of Staten Island.
Yeah, that was good.
He did another movie before that. I forgot what it was called, but it was similar premise.
He did. Was it Peanut Butter Falcon?
No, it's not Peanut Butter Falcon. It was called something bad adulting or something like that.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
I think that one was better than King of Staten Island, but
man, he went when he hosted the premiere of SNL this year.
He did,
and he did his I'm Just Pete, which was just I'm Just Ken, and there's it's made so many memes.
Oh yeah,
like he was definitely one of the SNL alums that really leaned into that. Let's just become memes.
Yeah, he really has. Like he gets it. He understands who he is and how the public perceives him, and so now he's the stoner on the Taco Bell commercials.
Yeah,
like he gets it.
What a great pitch too. He's just like, I can't believe you don't have breakfast tacos.
Yeah, breakfast tacos.
You can thank me for that.
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like it's funny because I'm going to hijack the podcast for a second. We're seeing more and more celebrities doing endorsements.
Yeah.
And I think this is a factor of everything that's happening with IP-based movies being the only thing Hollywood makes, You got Brian, what's his name? Brian
Cranston?
Not Cranston. He plays the dad on Succession.
Oh, yes.
He's the voice of McDonald's.
I can't believe that.
Wow.
He even sings the theme song in the commercial. He's like da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
He's the voice of McDonald's.
Wow.
Their paydays, man. They're taking their paydays.
Well, like even
what's up, Arun?
Even Tom Brady, like, what's up, Arun? Even Tom Brady was he apparently, like, back when he was like buttoned up Tom Brady playing for New England. He'd only do commercials for these foreign luxury brands.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Tampa Bay, all of a sudden the man's in Subway commercials.
Yeah, exactly. He's everywhere.
Like I was like, oh, actually, I like Tom Brady now. He seems like a cool guy because he eats at Subway just like I do.
Ever since he was retired, he's been in a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
and he's been in a bunch of stuff now.
Even George Costanza went back to his roots, right? He was in a McDonald's commercial back in the day, right? Didn't he do the McBLT
Yeah, he
dance?
did. Yeah.
He was in one of the
And
original.
now he stole Elaine's line of yada yada yada.
He did the yada yada thing.
He got the yada yada line,
Yeah.
but he's back to commercials.
Yep.
Look, we got Seinfeld coming back too. Did you know this?
No.
What?
Seinfeld's coming back. They've been rumbling about it for a while. It's definitely coming back. They just haven't made the official announcement.
What?
That's just where we are. You can't get anything off the ground that's new.
I can't believe that one.
I mean, sure, but like they also did that to themselves at the very one of the last lines is "We'll be back."
Yeah.
Like the last line in the original show is "We'll be back."
I thought after with Larry David and they did their quasi reunion on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I really thought that was it.
Sure, yeah,
but
that should have been. Yeah.
But there's a lot of like modern day scenarios now that people would love to see. Like, how would the characters on Seinfeld act to this, right?
The amount of times that I've said or my wife said is like, "Oh, this is a Seinfeld moment."
Yeah.
None of them had cell phones or internet in Seinfeld. It's a whole new world. This is just before
Imagine Kramer.
I'm pretty sure
in a post cell phone world now. Oh, my god.
Yeah. Well, that was the second to last, right? I think Friends was the real, true last sitcom, right?
Sure, yeah.
Sitcoms as we knew it, right? I mean, they had sitcoms after like the 2.5 Men and the Big Bang Theory, which is pretty terrible.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But those are a specific type of those are just like CBS Monday sitcoms.
Yeah, exactly. But I like the sitcoms as
like a big kind of cultural,
Like, I mean, Friends, how many Thanksgiving episodes did they have? Like, Friendsgiving came from Friends, right?
I think so.
Because they always had great Thanksgiving Day episodes. They show that all day long on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They'll have all the Thanksgiving episodes kind of laid out. But they became different, right? Modern Family was different. The Office was different.
That's true, yeah.
Well, because at some point, I think after The Office, it just became the standard that sitcoms were now all documentaries.
Yeah.
Everything is shot like a documentary now.
Like a camera.
The original 3-camera studio sitcom is what they don't do anymore.
No.
And if they do it, it's like a throwback.
Oh, man.
No more Family Matters.
No, TGI Fridays.
No,
right?
TGIF.
TGIF. We should take one of our old episodes and just add sitcom sounds to it. Because if you...
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I think the audience likes that idea.
People were complaining for the longest time how, pretty much reality shows were gimmicked. Like they weren't gimmicking, the sitcom with laugh tracks.
Right.
Right? And just like literally telling the audience when to clap, when to laugh.
Right. Have you seen those videos on YouTube? It's like, Big Bang Theory without the laugh track or Friends without the laugh track. And
it's
just
brutal.
Those are creepy, man.
Those are really, that's really bad. Because you're like, oh, well, I mean, that's still kind of funny, but it's not funny to the degree of I'm laughing with this audience.
No. You have to include the laughter. It's like when you laugh uncomfortably after a bad joke or an awkward comment. Mm-hmm. It's like they have to insert that into their own sitcom so you realize that they're joking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can't let them just sit on that.
You'll go down a rabbit hole of enjoyment if you go to YouTube and look up inappropriate laugh tracks when they add sitcom laughs to scenes that should not have them. Oh, man. I
gotta check that out.
You haven't lived until you see Haley Joel Osment on Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, God, I know
and
what
they're
you're talking about.
Walker said I have AIDS. Oh, I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, oh,
the internet is undefeated.
That was Haley Joel Osment. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
He's been famous for a long time.
He's been famous forever.
He is.
Yep.
Man. Well, what do you do for go home spot? You want to talk about Survivor Series, or you want to pitch Dream Scenario? Well, you went and saw. We're speaking of original IP. That movie's been pretty. It's been getting some play, like trailer plays. I've seen it in front of every movie that I've gone and seen in the last month, and it's an A24 joint.
Yeah. Dream Scenario. Let's see if I can find a picture real quick because sometimes that helps me pull that up. Yeah, I went and caught a quick screening of it. The trailer has been out for a while.
I was so confused because I literally saw it in front of Thanksgiving and it said coming soon. And then when I texted you after, you're like, oh, and I just saw a Dream Scenario. And I'm like, wait, it says coming soon. Like, when the hell did this thing come out?
Like in 5 minutes. It was cool to, obviously, like I said, I'm anything original that's an original idea. I'm just want to see it. This one kind of, I don't think lived up to the trailer. Nicolas Cage is doing his best Nicolas Cage stuff. I think playing a little bit of a different character. Usually he's like an offbeat, wacky guy, but in this one, he's literally playing the most boring person alive. You know?
Yeah.
And you've seen the trailers. You know what happens. He ends up appearing in people's dreams randomly for an unexplained reason. Becomes like a celebrity.
Is there a payoff on it? Oh, did they say why?
Well, that's the thing. It's like there is no payoff. This is sort of, and then we'll do the spoilers here since we're going for it. I know people hate it when you don't warn them.
Yes.
I feel like this movie, it's more, the whole dream thing that's happening is sort of a meditation or a metaphor about like internet celebrity. When you become a celebrity by accident, you're bagel boss guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever, and you're in a viral video, and all of a sudden, instantly, out of nowhere, you're super famous because that's what can happen. The idea that you could appear in people's dreams, it seems far fetched. But when you think about it against, you could instantly somehow by accident appear on everybody's phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be at the bagel store and something happens and all of a sudden you're famous. And I feel like this movie is kind of playing with that whole idea. And I think what happens is, and this is the part they don't give away in the trailer, is that the dreams take a turn and they become nightmares. And now everybody hates him.
Oh, God.
That's so
through no fault of his own.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's no explanation. It just takes that turn. Everybody hates him, and now instead of being famous, like his life is ruined, and everything goes badly, and it just kind of ends.
Was it Oscar bait or what is that?
It's definitely artsy fartsy bait. Now maybe not Oscar bait, Independent Spirit Awards bait.
Okay.
But I just feel it doesn't all kind of come together in the end. Like the idea is once you kind of get what the idea is, you're like, oh, okay, then what? But it doesn't really all wrap up in a satisfying way, you know?
Okay. That's what I was really curious about.
It wants to be being John Malkovich, but it's not quite that.
Okay. That is a good comparison.
And
yeah,
I think that Nicolas Cage's character, the way he portrays him is a choice. You know, he really is literally the most boring, pathetic guy alive. You know,
yeah,
and that's sort of where he's taking. So it's almost like it's hard to pull for him. You know, because he's that.
Well, you know, in an interview recently, he actually took offense that he is tired of being a meme. Like all his characters pretty much he's got to be one of the most memed actors out there, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And he's like, I kind of pour my heart and soul into these characters, and sometimes it get very extreme, and then just to see it get turned into like a 5-second, oh, we having a laugh, I don't like it. He's like, I'm tired of it. Yeah. So it makes me wonder if that why he's like, I'm going to become someone super boring in my next role.
That's the thing though, is those kinds of things like just take on a life of their own, like completely way out of context of the original context.
Yeah.
You know, and so one of the more recent memes of Nicolas Cage comes from the Unbearable Weight movie, where it's like him and Pedro Pascal, and like they're in the car together or something.
Oh, to make your own kind of music meme.
Yeah,
right?
and so he looks over at him, and Pedro Pascal's got that big goofy grin on, and that's completely taken a life of its own.
Oh yeah,
completely out of context, and it's like you can't, like I understand, like, because Nicolas Cage is like this artsy guy. And he wants everything that he does to be like, oh, like I put my heart and soul into it. But it's like, who knows what they're gonna take?
No,
and it's completely out of context, and it doesn't reflect on you.
No,
it's just what the internet does.
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
kind of why this movie probably appealed to him, because this is definitely the ideas it's playing with. I feel like you could have done the same movie and just made it about viral fame. Instead of it being a dream scenario, and maybe made a more interesting movie, because I think that's definitely what it's going for. It's a crazy concept and it's in reality that someone could love you, fantasize about you, dream about you for no reason other than you appeared in a viral video. You're that famous, but also through no fault of your own, the whole world could hate you because you appeared in a viral video.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my favorite Halloween costumes this year was lady on a plane seeing things. This motherfucker right here is not real.
Yeah.
And the girl dressed like her. She was walking around, and she'd every once in a while just turn around and say, "This motherfucker right here is not real." And I was like, a meme became a Halloween costume.
What do you think of that meme? Work or shoot?
Oh, they did an interview with her on Inside Edition.
Yeah, and she said she couldn't talk about it, right?
Yeah, at first she said she couldn't. She said she couldn't talk about it. Then she said she got into an awkward conversation with somebody she was sitting next to, and then she's like, "I got to get out of this." And she was actually pointing at him, saying, it was a way of just like, "You're crazy, get out of here." Right. I was like, "You're not real. You're crazy." She tried to make it seem like it was a misunderstanding. Most of the world knows it was probably an edible. She bit more than the leg on the edible.
Yeah, she was on the checkpoint at the airport. Hey, do I dump these in the trash, or do I just eat them all?
Do I eat them all? Do I stick it up my butt?
Right. It became an up the butt scenario.
It hits you harder that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So it goes straight to your bloodstream.
Yep. And then the meme became a meme of a meme, because then they showed her doing that, and it pointed and then went to the scene of Scooby-Doo dressed as a person on the plane. And then I'm like, even a meme is not safe from being memed.
No. They're just gonna take it. The internet does what it does, and it's gonna take it. And it's gonna make it its own thing. And like I said, it's not a reflection on you. It's just so I'm sure there's something in this movie that Nicolas Cage, being the boring person that he is, somebody's gonna take a scene from it and make a meme out of it. Yeah. And it's going to be completely devoid of the context of the movie. Yeah, and Nicolas Cage can be like, "What do I have to do?" You're going to have to stop acting.
Yeah, because
because it's you. One, it's you. It's Nicolas Cage. One, but two, it's just what the internet does.
Look, the clear solution is to make Con Air 2. That's the.
I've been waiting for a Con Air sequel.
That's the only way you can fix this Nicolas Cage.
I've been waiting for a sequel since I walked out of the movie theater.
I think that is the only thing that would fix a lot of things.
But anyway, like it's not a bad movie by any means. It's completely effective, efficient. It is what it is. I feel like the things that it's talking about would have been more interesting to just deal with in a direct way, as opposed to making it metaphorical.
Sure.
That's what stood out to me. Wait for streaming.
Wait for streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was kind of excited about it. I saw A24. I kind of got like, oh man, is this like an Everything Everywhere All at Once type movie? Because I love the premise.
I kind of got that vibe.
You got Nicolas Cage and he's going for it. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, but I'll wait for streaming.
Yeah.
Look, I and maybe I shouldn't say it. You know what? Don't go see it at the theater. No,
but go see it in a small
rent it. Rent it. Do something else. Don't wait for streaming, because that doesn't really help movies at all.
No,
rent it. If you rent it, spend some money on it. Whatever. Get the Amazon. Sometimes I put out the movies for 99 cents. Get it then. But But yeah, it's just, I think it was a great trailer. Great trailer. I don't fully think it lives up to the trailer. I think the ideas that it's trying to push are good ideas, but they kind of dance around them as opposed to just saying them.
Do you think movies taste different when you spend money on them?
Yes.
Right?
I think so.
When you actually put a little bit, like, Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, when you actually put a little bit of discipline, a little bit of work into it, you actually appreciate it more if you take the time to go to the movies. I mean, it used to be even a bigger deal, right? Like sometimes you'd go to a movie theater and not even know what you're going to see or where you were going to sit. And you were going to sit there and look at a blank screen. I mean, that was hard times, Daddy, but you were ready.
They didn't even have the Maria Menounos giving you all movie facts.
There was no newbie. There was nothing.
Nothing, just a blank. Blanks. I remember a blank screen.
That's like a horror movie premise. Now you're staring at a blank, because when you do that now, if like Newbie's not working and you're sitting at a blank screen, it's eerie. Yeah, like you're looking around, like, is this real life? Like, what's happening? But you were committed to it. Yeah. Look, same thing when you went to Blockbuster. You'd spend, an hour, 2 hours picking out a movie.
That was only us, Jeff. I don't think not everybody did that.
Oh, I did, man.
Not everybody did. Not everybody did the 90-minute Blockbuster trip where you're waiting and asking the guy what's come in.
Yeah.
Can I look in the bin?
Yeah, there you go.
We've all done through it's discipline. Again, it was another thing that took discipline. If it's just something that's going to pop up, there's no discipline involved.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with Netflix is there's nothing is earned. You're just scrolling through a bunch of movies you've never heard of, never seen a trailer for, and I hate it when Netflix shoots the trailer at me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, when you just
I hate that autoplay stuff.
You can turn that off.
I know, I turn it off every time.
Oh, okay.
For 3 seconds, and you're like, oh, you must want to watch this.
Yeah.
No, like so you can turn off the autoplay.
Yeah.
Like but like in Netflix's settings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Says I can't stand it when it's just I feel like it's screaming at me.
Yeah.
How do we live in a world that there's a movie with Jackie Chan, living legend, and John Cena, and I've never seen a trailer, and I can, if I wanted to, I can go home and watch it right now on Netflix.
I would get
How
more,
does that exist?
I think I'd get more out of like a Netflix like experience if these movies that you've never seen a trailer for had, like you can click on the movie and it says, oh, watch trailer. I would watch the trailer and then base my next thing off of that. I don't know that I could go in blind at this point, but like give me a trailer and I'll give me that experience and then I'll go in and watch.
I agree, and I think with a lot of Netflix stuff you're going in blind, but what you don't get out of Netflix, especially when stuff is new, is like people that talk about it. You know what I mean? But if your friends people have seen it, critics have seen it. Maybe it played at a film festival, right. Or then maybe like your friends have seen it, and you get chatter. People like, because to me, if somebody who I trust recommends something to me, I don't watch the trailer. I will avoid the trailer as much as possible. Someone says this is good, you should check it out. Okay, I trust your judgment. I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's fun. That's brave.
Yeah,
you're brave.
Because I feel like trailers just spoil so much.
They do. New trailers do.
Yeah.
I can get away with a teaser trailer, like of just hardly showing any footage. Was that Brian B. Rose, Geek Commander, right? Didn't he pitch, Ryan Reynolds the way he should push Deadpool 3 is show no footage?
Yeah.
And just have it, and people will go.
Oh, yeah.
Especially something like that, which is already half spoiled on the internet. So
yeah,
right.
They're going to show up either way.
Just go for it, man.
But yeah, you're going back to it, Jeff. You're right. Like I recently heard about the Jackie Chan John Cena thing, and I was like, why have I never heard about this?
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah,
I don't even know
and
where.
Then
it
what
came
happens
from.
to these movies after they play on Netflix? Is there DVDs of them? Do they just disappear?
Right. Yeah.
Because Netflix doesn't own it; they license it, right?
Yeah.
Or they pay somebody for it. Where does it go?
I don't know.
It just goes to Tubi, I guess. Maybe I don't know.
That sounds like a movie in itself. What happens to these Island of Misfit movies?
Because there used to be a
stars.
time. There was a time when people they'd make smaller movies. They'd end up on tape or whatever on VHS, and the prints would disappear because they wear out, and they go away. They break.
They put them in a salt mine somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we had
and
no
all you
place
have
to
is the
store it.
tapes that went to the stores.
Yeah.
This is the only place these movies exist. And now you've got this high-tech digital scenario where these movies only exist on streaming. Where do they go after that?
All it takes is one big magnet to run across somebody's hard drive, and it's over.
Game over.
And now
years and years of movies.
You live in a world where like Warner Brothers will just chunk a movie in the garbage.
Well,
And be like,
a completed movie just gone.
we're just not even going to watch this.
all the outtakes to Airplane they talked about being thrown in the garbage. Like they said they had so much
In the literal garbage.
Yeah, in the literal garbage.
Yeah.
These reels just got thrown in the garbage. They did not keep them.
Yeah.
They just got rid of them. And it's just like, he's like, these days they would have been DVD outtakes, and he's like, and we had to cut a lot of good stuff.
Sure.
So just the thought that
Arun says, "Where do movies go when they die?" I don't
Yeah,
know.
that Arun
To
sounds
movie
like
hell.
it sounds like a movie in itself.
Yeah.
Like you follow along.
That happened to Event Horizon. There's like a whole like section, like different like portions of the movie that tell kind of a different story, and I think they got thrown into some random place, and they weren't properly taken care of, and so now you don't get like those really cool extra scenes that tell more of the story or whatever.
Yeah, no director's
and
cut.
no director's cut. And I'm like, I love that movie. I need my director's cut, and it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, even just like recently when we got the Snyder cut, and you watched it, and it's just like, I remember just we waited for that one forever, and then at 2 a.m. when it came on, I was just blown away. And people have varying opinions on it, but I was just like, I cannot believe Warner Brothers just chunked this movie in the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was trash. They threw it away.
And
They just shot an entirely different movie and said, no, not this.
That is awful. Oh man,
It's wild.
that was
So I don't
good.
know. Like, what is the proposition now if you're a filmmaker? Like, you got folks like damienleone, who is I just think he's a hero, man. Want to get him on the show? Can you get him on the show, Jeff?
Yeah, let's
I just think he's doing amazing stuff. Terrifier is just it's taking chances, man. It's doing something that's making us squirm, making us vomit, pass out.
and we're pitching to watch this after.
And we want to see more. We want to see more.
100%. We want to see more. I'm a little nervous that he's.
I'm nervous. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's like, I do want to ride it, but I don't know. It's got a bunch of loops in it.
Can I just say how good Art's makeup is?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's blood and craziness happening, and but his makeup, like the white his makeup is just so good.
The teeth are so good.
Crisp. It's perfect.
The teeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything is perfect.
Great score. I think the score kind of flies under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a great
helps so
soundtrack.
much. I mean, how important is that to most good horror movies?
Yeah.
With that
It's huge.
score, that score is there, and it's just hitting on all cylinders.
It's so upsetting. There's so much in the movie that's upsetting, and I don't know, man. I just think it's really special what's going on with these movies right now.
Yeah.
One of the we live in IP-topia, man. Like, just overloaded. Everything is just an IP, and damienleone is out there just doing this from the ground up, doing the effects himself. You know what I mean? Low budget, and just making something that's catching on. It's great.
And it's just going to get bigger. Like October probably around September 2024. It's going to be Art Mania next Halloween.
That's going to premiere at Fantastic Fest next year.
Yeah.
You should prepare.
You need to mentally prepare and actually commit to going to that one, huh?
Yeah, I think that would be an adventure. Anyways, I had one more thing I wanted to bring up, Jeff, before you get to the go home spot, the wrestling thing. This was big news. What do you think about this guy?
Oh yeah,
as
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards.
Man, I don't know. So they retracted it really fast and just said, no, he's just in talks.
It's retracted? No.
No, it's retracted that he didn't accept the role. He's in talks. A few people dropped it that it was official. And then they're like, no, it's not official. We're just talking about it.
Right.
Man, I don't know. He is great. Like, he is fantastic. Clearly, he's already in 2 monster franchises.
That's all there is to do, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing but franchises. That's the only job in town.
I'm more worried about why their motives. Are they doing it because it's just like everybody loves Pedro Pascal, and like you said, Fantastic Four is such an important film for them that they can't mess it up. It's the first family of Marvel. They can't mess this up, and this is their way of trying to hedge their bets. Is he the right person for Reed Richards?
What's his name? John
Krasinski?
Yeah, Krasinski. Like he's been the fan favorite, and they gave the fans that in the
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness, and it's like like he fits. Like he's the guy, and so but I heard this is just the one off. He's probably not going to do it again. Which okay, that's that sucks. Kind of break your heart, but. When I heard Pedro Pascal, I was like, "Look, I love the guy, but I just don't know. I need somebody because there's plenty of people out there who, when they hear these things, they go and they Photoshop them immediately and they put them in the character.
There's one.
I need to see it in order for me to be able to buy in.
Boss Logic did one.
Yeah. Okay.
Boss Logic did one. Mario, why do you? I see a picture of Plastic Man up there somewhere.
Well, I just think, he's cast possibly Mr. Fantastic. I thought he would have made a better Plastic Man. If I was booking it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He would have been a great Plastic.
Now, Plastic Man, I'd want to see him as for sure.
I feel like he's a better choice.
I think he's a better choice for Plastic Man than for. They talked about the Council of Reed Richards, like
the Council of Reed.
Yeah, so they would still do Krasinski, then they would get the guy Ian who did it for the Fox version.
Oh yeah.
And then have Pedro in there, but
right.
I don't know.
I you saw that on the huge screen.
I know. I just don't know. I felt the same way about Heath Ledger though, and I was completely proven wrong.
Yeah. I'd love to be proven.
I think that right now Marvel is super gun shy about everything.
Yeah,
they've had some misfires. They've had some legit bombs.
Yeah,
and they want familiar faces in there to draw people in.
Yeah,
they went after Margot Robbie and Adam Driver, established folks. And they're kind of going down the line, and now they're to Pedro Pascal, who is super over.
Yeah, he doesn't need it,
and rightfully so.
But he doesn't have a Marvel franchise yet, or a Star Wars. He does have a Star Wars.
Yeah,
he does have
he's Mandalorian. Yeah,
he's part of a whole Star Wars.
Wow, that's all. Literally that's all there is to do.
Yeah,
these franchises in town.
I want to see a movie with him with his Spanish mom from SNL. I want to see that. I want to see that film. Give her own show like Mama's Family. But
you have to have the mustache. It has to all stay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That scene where she dumps the cookies in the garbage and puts the sewing kit in there was the funniest thing ever on network TV.
It's funny. It's amazing how fast those cookie tins can smell like thread. You see, because you open it up and I can still smell the thread more than I can smell the cookies.
And those cookies literally have no value. It's literally it's only for the tin that you would even buy that.
That's what you're paying for is the tin.
No one's ever eaten those cookies on purpose. It's like,
whoops.
There's nothing else at all.
Well, there's still, like you said, I think Marvel's. There's someone in there that is gun shy that realize they have bad PR, and then there's still people in there that maybe we should make Silver Surfer a girl. You're just like, are you trying to make people angry? Like, there's room in the middle somewhere. Like Taika Waititi, who I loved, and I want to see his movie Next Goal Wins. That's an original movie that just came out that flew under the radar.
Yeah,
I want to see that. But then he has a quote out there. He's like, oh, yeah, I have a Star Wars movie. It's perfect. It's going to piss people off. No, don't release that then. But people are already pissed off. Don't release it.
Right. Well, how much more can you piss people off
I know,
from this most recent trilogy?
Yeah, exactly. It's like even like Ahsoka had it was like, you don't do anything. They need to play it a little bit safer. There's they can't take these chances. And I think that's what Pedro is. They're trying to play it safer because you're going to get butts in the seat.
Well, because they know the public loves him.
Yeah.
They love this guy.
Oh,
they love the guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if we make him Reed Richards? Then they'll love Reed Richards by proxy.
Right.
And I think they tried to cast huge actors at first, but they're like, oh man, shoots the budget into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
We got to start. Yeah, I think Pedro Pascal is even aiming high.
Yeah.
And the internet, they were talking about how he should be Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
As Reed Richards. I think that he'd be a solid choice.
That's a solid choice.
Yeah. But, I just think everybody in Hollywood right now does not want to take any chances. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a grueling decision. It's a hard decision when you have to make a decision that's going to cost a lot of money. And you don't really have any way to prove that it'll work. You have no proof that it'll work. You just have theory.
It's back to the old days of just taking a chance of something you wrote on a cocktail napkin.
That's why I think it would be a good idea if the studios had some retreats or some boot camps or something, and they'd be like, can we come up with some ideas for some $20 million movies? Okay?
Miss those, man.
There we go. Let's do it. We got $100 million. A Marvel movie costs $300 million.
Yeah.
Really. And when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what if we took that $300 million and we shifted our bets around a little bit? Let's make a $50 million one, a few 20s, 100. You know what I mean? And then like a couple of 5s and some 10s, and let's like spread the money around.
I think that would be great.
And like because it's like Captain Marvel now is like a huge bomb, but it's still opened with like $50 million. That's a huge opening. That's what Batman opened with, right?
Yeah.
Bigger. So it's like...
It's just a bomb compared to the money. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Mike?
Oh, yeah. They booked the Lex Luthor, right? The guy who played Beast. And
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be Luthor.
I mean,
they booked Jimmy Olsen.
Another safe bet booking. It's just like he's been Beast. He's in Mad Max. It's just, I don't know. I think he's a solid choice. He's fine.
Renfield is where we just saw
him.
Yeah.
But he also has the look. I think my biggest problem with Pedro Pascal is he doesn't look like Reed Richards.
No.
Like, I feel like they're gonna have to do some work to give him the Reed Richards look.
They're gonna have to do some a little
like he can act that.
He looks like plastic.
Yeah, you give me that that man right there as Pedro. Yeah,
I he would rock this open shirt, right, with the huge V-neck.
Yes, I want Pedro Pascal as that right there.
Is he Marvel or DC?
That's a DC guy.
Yeah, DC guy. Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not too late. DC, let's go.
James Gunn is just going. Yeah, he's cooking a lot. He's announcing all his castings for the next Superman on there. So
I'm not even super excited about Superman.
Is Superman going to be an animated movie?
No.
Because I thought it was going to be an animated thing that he was doing.
No, he's doing Creature Commandos is going to be the first James Gunn one, and that's animated.
Look, Mike says Marvel taking on the Blumhouse model would be dope. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot more. You'll have some things that pay off, some that don't, but like the risk is spread out. It's not just all your money on one bet. You know
what they really need to do, and Mike, this is stealing a little bit of Mike's idea and a little bit of your idea and kind of merging them. They need to hire one person that actually goes and watches all these YouTube video breakdowns and people who actually understand the lore. Find a couple of those people and hire them to be on the creative team. Just in there to be a voice that'd be like, no, you can't do that because X.
Right, yeah.
Just like a job swap. Okay, fire all these guys that have never read a comic book in their life. Right. Hire these guys that are actively reading comic books. Put them on the Council of Elders, and let's see what happens.
There's a guy I watch on YouTube who called every Marvel movie. He's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. He's like, it's not really. He's like, this is what I think. He called every Marvel movie because he knows.
Yeah,
he knows. I love watching him, and because he goes through, he reviews, comic books and whatever, and he called every Marvel. This is how it's going to end. This is who this is going to be. This is what's coming next. Called it every time,
and they're great. Yeah, and they take the time for these deep dives. Mike sent us that film theory one, and I listened to it on the drive. It was like a 30-minute video of like maybe things that they should do different, but you'll never listen to us because they're YouTube. Hire these people and get rid of these people that they earn their keep to get their job, but they're not really creative. Get rid of these non-creative people in these creative jobs, and you can take a chance on $5 million movies, $10 million movies, and it'll work because you have creative minds in there. Just have somebody that's literally internal affairs with the rule book. Like Star Wars Theory, you can read, he knows all the lore. Yeah. So that's why he gets so angry, because you're not following your own rules.
And I think it's a two-step thing. I think that's part of it. Yes, the lore and knowing the lore is part of it, but I feel that's only part of it.
Yeah,
I think what's happening that nowadays that I think they need to embrace is that folks making movies and stuff like for YouTube are getting over it. Like the guys who did Talk to Me, that recent horror movie was huge hit. They made YouTube horror movies. Yeah. Damienleone, Terrifier was a YouTube movie.
Yeah.
One of the early YouTube movies. I think that you need to find people who have an eye and a particular point of view. You know what I mean? I feel like they've been booking a lot of these indie directors who make indie dramas, and it's just like, whatever. That's not a skill or a talent or whatever. But you need these folks, the young Sam Raimis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a particular point of view, a vision, and somehow they're figuring out a way to make their movie. You need that mindset brought over into your films, so it's not just I need hundreds of millions of dollars to fix the movie. It's like I have $5 million. I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take every opportunity I have here and make this $5 million movie awesome.
Yeah.
$5 million is probably too cheap right now. I'm thinking 20.
No,
million.
but I mean, they would probably. How easy would a $5 million movie get to 50 million? Probably pretty easy
for sure.
Well, I heard like Terrifier 3, the budget is estimated like between 2.5 and 3.5 million. That's a huge jump for them.
Yeah.
But it's going to make 10 times that.
Oh, yeah.
On its first weekend, it's going
to be
making its profit
huge.
back.
I'm really curious how Kane Pixels is going to do with the Backrooms movie with A24.
Just hire broke people, Mike says. Yes.
Yeah, because
hungry people.
Because they're like, oh yeah, we're making, okay, we're gonna make a Backrooms movie. He's still uploading new stuff to YouTube, and it's just everybody's like, oh my god, like what's this thing, what's this new thing, and he's still making amazing content, and he's just giving it away for free.
It worked with food, right? Every overpriced delicacy was peasant food.
Yeah.
Because when you give peasants the crap, they find a way to make it great. And then all of a sudden they're like, so they can do a lot. He's 100% right. These people are too rich, and they live in this, Hollywood lives in this bubble. They're 100% in this bubble, and they don't even understand their audience. And that's why it feels like they're pandering. I think they're being sincere when they're like, I think the fans are really going to like this. Like they're that delusional on a lot of this stuff, and it's just like not gonna work. Like, how did Indiana Jones turn into that? Like that last one, like how did you mess that up?
Hire broke people that really want to impress. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You think about it. Rocky, Stallone was writing Rocky. He was so broke that he sold his dog and started a porno.
He sold Buckus.
Yeah. He had no options. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
That was his one shot. And it turned into Rocky. The hugest franchises of all time.
Man, you recommended that book too. And that's great. I'm going through that one right now.
The action hero book?
Yeah. You get the origin story of Rocky, of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You're getting all the origin stories. Yeah. Chuck Norris origin story in there too. It's so good.
Yep.
So good. Oh, man. So let's end it on. I don't think we need to end it on wrestling. CM Punk might show up as pretty much he might show up at Survivor Series. He's not the mystery man.
I don't understand how this man hasn't burned every bridge. I understand the old Triple H is still taking on the old Vince McMahon. If it makes money, then it's fine.
It's best for business.
Yeah, we can repair that bridge, but Tony Khan gave you 2 chances and you just burned the bridge as hard as you could.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then what if he just comes back for one match against Shinsuke Nakamura in Chicago, and then he's like, I just wanted to come back to say goodbye, and I'm going to the Hall of Fame, and then I'm done.
And then, okay, that's fine.
It could happen.
All right, dude.
I don't know. I'll watch, but this is the go-home spot I really want to do. So, we're talking about, we're coming into what was normally the second busiest movie season, right, with the holiday movies. Right. What movies are you looking forward to in December? I had a couple pulled up, but my laptop died because I'm rusty. I haven't done this in 3 months.
There's literally only one movie I'm looking forward to, so I have no idea what you got in mind, and it's the Iron Claw.
Yes, 100%.
I've watched that trailer 100 times today.
Yeah,
like it is. I love that trailer so much. I cannot wait to see that movie 4 times opening week.
Which one's Iron Claw?
It's about the Von Erichs.
The Von Erich
Oh
family,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I was like, I know this one. Yeah, I totally want to see Iron Claw.
I'm 100% seeing it, and I'm nervous about it. It's a movie that I'm nervous how much I'm gonna like it, and I'm nervous how much I'm gonna cry. And I haven't felt that since The Wrestler.
Oh yeah.
When I walked in, I'm like, I'm nervous about like how much emoting am I going to do because of this movie?
Sure, yeah.
Because it's a slam dunk. It felt like talking to Zac Efron. He's like, this is the only movie I ever really cared about the reviews because I want to do right by the Von Erichs so bad.
I'm so excited to have the civilians learn the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody at work about it because they were asking about the Iron Claw and what it was about. And I told them, and they were like, wow, I've never heard about any of that. You know? I think A24, solid studio. I think they'll nail it. I feel like to us, like the diehards, the true marks, I feel like I'm worried that it might be underwhelming because it'll just be so much. They'll be like, oh wait,
they're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
out.
they're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff. We've all
out.
seen all the documentaries and we know all the facts and we're just so into it.
Yeah.
And these movies got to have broad appeal. So there's the possibility of that little bit of letdown, but other than that, I cannot wait to see the Iron Claw.
Well, it's just hard when it's not a series, right? They're not gonna get it all in. But
not everything needs to be series, though.
Yeah. That's hard. My buddy James Beard, who refereed a lot of my matches, actually, and he refereed in World Class, and he's the referee in that match. And I've been following his Facebook post and seeing their reactions online, and I trust James to make sure that they're going to do right by the legacy. And he's saying everybody's reaction has been great. And I think it's just so positive that I don't think there's going to be a negative reaction, even they leave some stuff out, because you just want to root for the Von Erich boys.
Yeah,
even though
so
they're
bad.
all gone. Now you're just rooting for their legacy, and you just want Kevin, who's still around, to just feel what he felt back then and what could have been if it would have continued.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this movie, to me, this movie can't lose. Like, we've already won because it exists. It's happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great moment for it right now. I feel like right now, we've talked about this before, wrestling documentaries are more popular than wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Everybody loves wrestling documentaries.
Yeah.
And I think people are really becoming wise to the art of pro wrestling and not being just like, disregarding it as Saturday morning cartoon fare or whatever you want to call it, or death match type stuff. If it's half as good as I hope it's going to be, it's going to be amazing. And I think we're talking Oscar time.
I feel like
Zac Efron. Yeah. The director, I only know one other movie that he's done, and it was pretty serious kind of story. It wasn't like it's not like they're getting some music video director to come on and direct this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a true tragedy, and again, and it's an original property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's a biography, it's something new.
They got Chavo Guerrero as the
he's
the
out.
wrestling.
He's always on everything.
Yeah, he's on it. Yeah.
He's a Hollywood go-to.
Yeah.
To learn how to
MJF
work.
plays one of the Von Erichs.
He plays the gimmicked Von Erich, Lance Von Erich.
Oh.
So Lance Von Erich came
Wow.
along a little bit later, and obviously, unfortunately, all the Von Erichs passed, but they wanted to keep going to the Von Erich well, so they got this, good-looking dude, just like you're going to be Cousin Oliver, but your cousin Lance, but your cousin Lance. But by then, the wrestling that territory was already down.
Sure.
So it made it tough. So to see MJF in there,
That's awesome.
But Mario, when you said that, because I think it's going to be a lock. We're going to Golden Globe lock. But if we get anybody in there that's going to be nominated for an Academy Award, man, what a win! What a win that is for the wrestling that we loved, you know, back from the 80s on there, man.
Yep.
That would be. So that's definitely, that's my number one as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single other thing.
I think the only other thing is I think Rebel Moon comes out in December.
Rebel Moon, yeah.
And so I'm Zack Snyder's hit or miss with me. I want to like his movies so much, stuff like this especially.
Yeah.
I want to like it so much, and you know he's burned me before.
It was Sucker Punch.
Sucker
right?
Punch
you
burned
got Sucker
me.
Punched.
Yeah.
You got Sucker Punched.
Like
We all got
some of that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was sold on the some of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so maybe I need to go back and rewatch it.
That was a tough one.
But I'm hoping Rebel Moon is as advertised.
I think that I have weird opinions on Zack Snyder because I think he's great. You know, I think he's fantastic. I'm interested in Rebel Moon because it's an original story that I'd like to see what it is. The downside is I feel anything Netflix has just an issue with quality control. And if it's just Zack Snyder running amok, I don't know that that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you look at his filmography, his best stuff is when he's a journeyman director. When he's a director for hire.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead remake, nobody else could have pulled that off.
Right.
No.
That was instant. You're instantly setting yourself to fail. Great, but it was great. Man of Steel, despite the heat it gets, I think is one of his best films.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
You know,
Yeah.
300,
Great movie.
but when you get into the stuff where he's a little bit more of an auteur, I feel like that's where he loses his way. I think he was like the greatest journeyman director ever who got elevated into this huge status. You know? Aquaman's coming too. I don't even. I have zero interest in Aquaman.
I've seen zero of the Aquaman movies.
Well, because they definitely cut the trailer to only show Amber Heard for not even a millisecond, and they're like I told Mario, they're pitching it as Tango and Cash.
Oh, okay.
More than they're pitching it as a superhero movie.
Sure,
It's against the. It's behind the 8 ball on this for sure. Like you have no idea. Like people, if Flash was the last taste in people's mind, and even Blue Beetle got some blowback. So
the Blue Beetle movie came out.
It came back.
It's on HBO now.
Yeah, it's on HBO now, so you can get it.
I recommend it. I thought it was solid.
Was it a solid movie?
Yeah.
But I mean, it has too much going against it because of all the internet heat. But going back to Rebel Moon, I don't know if you heard the backstory on this. It's technically a spec script. It was a spec script that he wrote that he was going to pitch for a spin-off Star Wars story. They did not hire him to write this script. He's like, I have this idea. He wrote the script. He pitched it to him. They passed. He retooled it into his own movie.
Oh.
So I think maybe he's hoping to get some of that Star Wars magic rub off on there. But I am a little bit worried like Mario because I think the worst thing that can happen to a successful director is editors scared to tell them no.
Right.
That never works. Who's that ever benefited from that?
Right.
Like Quentin Tarantino, who's probably one of the best directors of all time, right? It's safe to say. He had what was her name? Sally
Menke.
Sally Menke. That she understood what he wanted, and she knew, okay, this is what. But he's a director, not a selector. He didn't shoot a lot of shit he didn't want, so he's probably not a good example. But like every time you see a successful director, and then their next movie is 3 hours long, they didn't get the right editor.
Yeah.
They didn't get the right editor. So I am curious how that's going to be on as a Netflix release.
I hope that it's good. I'd like to see a good film from Zack Snyder. I think he's talented. You know, I just any director given too much freedom, I feel sometimes it goes out of control. Not everybody is Tarantino or Scorsese. Collaboration is important.
Yeah,
you've got to work with people that you can brainstorm ideas, shoot back and forth. You know what I mean? It can't be a rigid. It's got to be a flow.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yep.
So I 100% agree on that. Yeah. So the other one that I was going to pitch that I'm looking forward to actually already came out and I didn't know it, and I just think that was like, well, that was really poor marketing. Is It's a Wonderful Knife. I was a sucker for Happy Death Day. I loved that gimmick and I thought it worked really well. And then I was just like, what if you took the premise of It's a Wonderful Life and turned it into a slasher movie?
It came and went. I just didn't have a chance to watch it.
And now it's going to be streaming on Shudder on December 1st.
There you go.
At least Shudder's like, no, this is a Christmas movie. Don't release this a little bit before, like a little bit after Halloween, but a little bit before Thanksgiving. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I think Shudder could have left it in the theater a little longer.
Yeah.
And then maybe drop it with a Joe Bob episode around it.
Oh, I wonder if Joe Bob is going to show that. Well, Joe Bob comes out his special is on the 15th, but probably not. But it's got Justin Long in it.
Yeah, great.
You got Justin Long in a horror movie.
I love that Justin Long he's
just embraced that, right?
He's become the horror movie guy. Did you guys watch Goosebumps?
I haven't watched it yet.
Dude, it is so good.
Really? It's good?
It is so good.
Yeah,
and Justin Long he's of course he's in it. And yeah, I've been enjoying, and I believe all the episodes are out at this point.
Yeah.
So you can just,
all right, I got to watch it. I was
I
excited.
really
Everything about it looked pretty good.
Yeah. It's been really interesting.
Is anybody going to watch Aquaman, honestly?
I'm going to go just because of my completist personality, but I mean, I just wish I was excited about going to see it. It's kind of like, I go to get my oil changed. I go to get my teeth cleaned. I'm going to go watch DC, or I'm going to go watch a comic book movie. I was there watching Marvels by myself in the theater.
Right.
And there's
if somebody could get me like, the Mario Machete cut of Aquaman, I would watch that. But I'm not about to sit there and be like, I didn't want to see the first one in the first place. I was like, it's not really.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the first one.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I don't know what the appeal was of that movie.
I think I thought he was a great Aquaman in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. I feel like he was really great in that.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like his standalone movie, but I'll go see it. I'm definitely going to go see it. I'm going to not see it.
Yeah.
What about Wonka? I am secretly kind of looking forward to it. Maybe I should say I'm curious.
For me, Wonka has the Wonka character has completely become this thing that maybe wasn't intended for the original character. Like they're trying to make him this, like, so when Johnny Depp had the mantle, like he was like this weird character that wasn't Gene Wilder. Like I understand, like you have to evolve these things. It can't all stay the same, but it's just, what's this? And then I like what's his name, the new Wonka.
Timothy.
Yeah,
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. I like him. I think he's good, but I think it's another one of these things where it's like, oh, we're trying to make him quirky and weird and all these things, and it's like you're missing a lot of just the layers of Gene Wilder's Wonka. And again, I understand things have to change and they can't stay the same, and I think you're completely missing the mark by turning him into this
street
weird,
magician,
wild character. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Mario said this or if somebody else said this on there. It's just like the thing that the original Gene Wilder iteration of Wonka had that other ones didn't is when you looked at him, he was not afraid to watch those kids die.
Yeah.
I mean, the original Wonka movie is essentially a slasher movie.
Yeah, the dude's a serial killer out now.
Killed.
Yeah, but
I mean, they both kind of have the same hair vibe going on, right? So that's probably the evolution.
Yeah, but it just this kind of like, if he watches a kid die, it's kind of oh whoopsie, and you see he gets kind of like a thrill from it, maybe like it. But Gene Wilder's character is like.
He'd be like, anyway, let's keep going.
Sucks to suck, but all right, well, let's go.
I think I think one thing that I would tell the studios is you don't have to make young Wonka or anything. You don't have to make young whatever. You could just do another Wonka movie. You don't have to designate that this is when he was a kid and this is where Oompa Loompas came from. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's like I feel like that's already been proven that that's not necessarily what people want to see. It's like we don't really care about Easter eggs. It's like there's the first Oompa Loompa. Oh, this is how they came up with the song. You know,
right?
It's just like just make a Wonka movie that just takes place whenever. It could be later. It could be after Charlie and Chocolate Factory. It could be before. Just a general Wonka adventure, and just see what we can do with that. You know,
I liked B. Rose's pitch of just like you catch Charlie later on having to deal with all the multiple lawsuits from the other 4 kids.
Yeah, because he owns the chocolate factory now.
That's why he's trying to give it away. He's like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Do you guys have movies like that? Mario, you're way more disciplined than most of like the ability to say no, I'm not going to go see this. But like I don't have a way of sometimes speaking with my wallet. It's got to be like, no, I'm not going to go see that. Like, do you have the ability to say no, you're not going to go see a movie out of just I bought pumpkin pie butter spread today because it said new. I was at the store and I'm just like, well, look at that. It's pumpkin pie butter spread. So she's like, what are you going to put that on? I was like, I don't know. It's new. Let's find out. I just sometimes don't have that ability to say no. So it's just like, young Wonka, all right, let's butter it on a roll and see what it tastes like.
You really have to attract me with, as I'm getting older, like you really have to attract me with art or a Marvel movie because that's just me.
Yeah.
But like you really have to attract me with art or something different. Like, you know, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's just art.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
lured me in,
and but
Beautiful
you're not
trailer.
gonna get me to go watch the new Wonka movie because that sounds like the worst thing I could do on a Saturday.
I think the thing that keeps me from going is not just it's any kind of it's not that I just say I'm not going to do this. I don't want to go. It's like it's 2 factors. It's like do I really feel like putting the effort to go do this and sit there and watch it in a theater? Because here's the thing. Is it new? Is that pumpkin pie butter spread new? Or have you been eating butter spread nonstop for years?
Yeah, no.
Oh, but this is pumpkin pie butter spread. But it's like, so it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't feel new. A new Wonka movie doesn't feel new to me.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like I'm getting something new. Right. If it's an original, if Timothy Chalamet was in a movie where he plays a jerk who kidnaps his autistic brother and teaches him to cheat at cards, I was like, that sounds interesting. They should start remaking 80s movies like that. Do An Officer and a Gentleman again.
Oh, wow.
And just be like, he's just kind of a jerk who's in the Navy.
D-O-R.
Yeah. Like, that's one of those movies that I can't explain to you why I watched it so much, but I did. It was,
oh my God.
I don't know what was you look at it back now, there's a lot of things in there that are cancelable.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm just like, but I saw it so many times. Was it just for the ending? When when he goes to the factory?
Way to go, Paula. Way to go.
I mean, I don't know. There's just these
You're
movies
right, and that was like, and we were pretty young to be rewatching Officer and a Gentleman as much as we did.
Yeah, there's lots of movies that they would just play on HBO all day long that were not appropriate.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. That was very rewatchable. Is there any like? Do you get like RJ angrily said he's not going to see the Marvels? F that, like, is there movies that you're like, you're not going to go see just because they make, Mike pitched this earlier, let that, Barrera got dropped from the new Scream because of personal opinions on that. And their people are furious and they're just like, no, people won't go to see it. So personal stuff kind of leaked into business stuff. Are there movies that like will make you angry because of the actor or something that like, that's why, even if I like this movie, I'm not going to see it because I hate Amber Heard. So I'm not going to go see Aquaman.
I rarely ever feel like that. No.
Yeah. Like I feel like once it's got to the point of, I don't agree with that person's opinion on something, whatever it is, it's likely that I'm over that person as an actor to begin with.
Yeah.
So
It's already
like
done anyway.
like the new Santa Claus movie.
Oh, yeah.
the Santa Clauses with Tim Allen.
Yep.
Like I have Tim Allen and I are on different opposite ends of the spectrum, but like at this, yeah, but you know, but I love what was the show?
Home Improvement.
The Home Improvement. Love that show. I still think it's hilarious to this day.
Most people called it Tool Time.
Yeah, Tool Time. There you go.
Tool
Yeah. The original like 3 Santa Claus movies, solid movies. You know, the first one's really great. But at this point, I'm like, I don't need to see a fourth. You know, I didn't watch, you know, the Tim Allen's most recent sitcom that he had. I had nothing against it. I'm just kind of over Tim Allen at this point.
No, and it's like there's so much opportunity to just steal from other things that why would you make the same thing over and over? Right. Like you take Santa Claus, you take Violent Night from last year. They basically took Die Hard and switched John McClane out for Santa Claus. Okay, that's an original premise to me. Now you're doing now you're actually trying you're borrowing and you're remaking things, but you're actually trying to make it different.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that was great. We got to rewatch that this year.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a holiday classic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really am looking for original movies and original trailers to be shown to me at the theater, so I can be like, I think I'd like to see that in 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I have IP fatigue myself. I'm worn out on IPs.
I saw a trailer in front of Thanksgiving that actually it was in front of Priscilla. When I went and saw Priscilla, I was like, that's the best when you go see a movie that you weren't really expecting or planning to go see, and then the movie turned out to be good, but you also are going to see trailers that you would not have seen otherwise.
Yeah.
And there's a movie, I think it's from the Kingsman. I think it's from Matt Vaughn. Argyle?
I haven't seen that trailer.
You haven't seen the trailer for Argyle? It was bananas, and it's completely original, but it's got like 2 different sections of the movie, and one of them has the guy who plays what's his name? Henry Cavill, John Cena, Vanessa Kirby, but then it jumps over to this other world that has Bryce Dallas Howard, but it's like, and she's like a spy novelist, and then like somehow this real world is,
I've seen the trailer for that. I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, and it's like Save the Cat, and what's his name? Sam Rockwell is in it.
Yeah.
And he's the real spy, and he has this cat.
That looks good.
That's walking around in this spacesuit. Like, talk about original. Like, I'm having trouble explaining what I just saw.
No, that sounds great. Good. I don't want to see trailer at all. I just rather see the movie.
I was just going to say, you can skip the trailer and go see that movie. Like, what I saw was enough for me. I don't need to see any more.
There's another movie out there that was in theaters a while back that kind of had like a similar premise of writing the book as it plays out or whatever it is. But yeah, no, I remember seeing that trailer going, I want to watch that.
Yeah, and I'd never even heard of it before.
Yeah.
So they spent a lot of money on that too, because it looked like a big. It looked like big budget, and it's going to come out in February.
Yeah,
and
I'll be there.
I've been trying to be really cognizant of trailer, like just not willy nilly watching trailers, like Mario said, because like if I want to see it, I'm not going to watch the trailer. So like I'll go out of my way to not watch this trailer anymore, like online, but like. If it pops on the theater in front of you, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I never watched a trailer or a single thing, anything for Terrifier 2. Went in completely cold, and it was great. It just blows you away.
Yeah.
When you can go in totally cold on something like that, it's just so much more satisfying experience.
Yeah, I agree. Like when it happens accidentally, it works, and I think you appreciate that film so much more. Like it sticks with you, and then you want that repeated viewing of like you want to see it again.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what we were brought up on, right? Like a lot of times we'd go see a movie based on box art. You didn't get a trailer.
Yeah.
Is a turkey coming back? So the turkey leg, that's like but like just the box art alone. I was like, okay, I'm going to see this. This is cool. Happy birthday to me. Why is this guy got a shish kebab in his mouth? Okay, I'm going to go watch this.
Red Sonja? Yeah, let's watch that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, fellas. I think that's a.
Is that a show?
Yeah, that's a show. That is a Thanksgiving
anniversary
special Terrifier and turkey dinner. What is the
Damien Leone. Get Damien Leone
Yeah, we got to tag
on
him.
the show.
Supposedly, if you tag him, he watches stuff.
Tag him.
He's not.
Surely we got some shorts in here we can cut together and tag him in, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we got to find some shorts and tag him in. So what's the required viewing for Turkey Day that you're gonna watch for sure?
I have a quick pitch.
Yeah.
Terrifier the musical.
Done.
I've been thinking about that the whole show.
You kind of pitched it like yogurt in Spaceballs too. Terrifier the flamethrower.
I mean, you already got the Clown Cafe song, so you just need
Exactly. It's perfect.
That still blew my mind.
Right?
Whatever that was. So.
I was like, what am I watching right now?
Man, but I just got to tell you, Damien Leone, if any cranberry sauce gets in my mashed potatoes,
Oh, Jesus.
damn you. Damn you.
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving and shove some mashed potatoes right in your face hole.
Right in your face hole.
We'll be back at Christmas.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
be back. Christmas specials. All right, later.